Life operates on principles, and one of the most undeniable truths is that what a man sows, he will also reap. No one can plant seeds of cruelty and expect a harvest of peace. No one can build their life on deception, betrayal, and harm and expect a future of prosperity. The universe itself is designed with balance, and everything a person does, whether good or evil, will return to them in due time. When people choose to be cruel, when they lie, manipulate, and seek to destroy others for their own gain, they believe they are gaining the upper hand. They believe their power, their influence, and their ability to inflict pain will protect them. But what they do not realize is that every act of cruelty is like a stone thrown into a vast ocean. The ripples always come back. Cruel people think they are untouchable. They convince themselves that their schemes will never be exposed. They believe they can hurt others, betray trust, and still walk away free. But there is a force greater than their deception, greater than their tricks, greater than their arrogance. That force is justice. The same wickedness they inflict on others will find its way back into their lives, often when they least expect it. History is filled with people who thought their cruelty made them powerful, only to watch their own lives collapse under the weight of their own actions. Betrayers are betrayed, liars are exposed, manipulators are trapped by their own schemes. No matter how high a person rises, if they build their success by stepping on others, their fall is only a matter of time. Many people live in pain because of the cruelty of others. They cry out, wondering when justice will come, when their suffering will end. But there is a greater plan at work. No evil act goes unnoticed, and no injustice lasts forever. The very traps set for the innocent will one day ensnare the ones who set them. The very betrayal used to harm others will turn against those who initiated it. The same lies they told, the same hurt they caused, the same destruction they spread, it will become their own burden. This is why it is important not to waste energy seeking revenge. The most powerful response to cruelty is not to return it, but to rise above it. Those who remain steadfast, who refuse to lower themselves to the level of the wicked, will see justice unfold. They will watch as the same darkness meant to destroy them turns against the ones who created it. When people walk in cruelty, they are not just hurting others, they are cursing themselves. The very energy they send out into the world is shaping their own future. They may laugh today, they may boast in their ability to deceive and manipulate, but tomorrow their own hands will carry the weight of the pain they caused. So let them scheme, let them betray, let them deceive. It is not your battle to fight. Stay faithful, stay true, stay grounded in integrity, because one day they will look around and realize that the cruelty they used to build their world has become the very curse that tears it down. Life is governed by unchangeable principles, and one of the greatest truths is that whatever a person sows, they will also reap. This is not just a spiritual or philosophical idea. It is a fundamental law of existence. A farmer does not plant an apple seed and expect to harvest oranges. He knows that whatever he places in the ground will determine the harvest he receives. The same applies to life. Every action, every word, every decision is a seed planted in the soil of time, and eventually the harvest will come. Those who choose to sow kindness, honesty, and integrity will reap a future of peace, respect, and stability. But those who sow cruelty, deception, and betrayal are setting themselves up for a harvest of destruction. A person cannot expect to harm others, manipulate situations, or spread lies and escape the consequences. They may not see the results immediately, but just as a seed takes time to grow into a tree, so too do the consequences of their actions. The problem is that many people believe they can plant one thing and harvest another. They believe they can sow dishonesty and still expect trust. They believe they can cause pain and still expect joy. But the system of life does not work that way. Sooner or later, the very things they have done to others will return to them. The betrayal they thought would bring them power will lead to their downfall. The lies they told to protect themselves will be the reason they are exposed. The pain they inflicted will visit their own doorstep when they least expect it. Some may think they can outsmart this law, that they are too clever, too powerful, or too strategic to face the consequences of their cruelty. But no one is above the principles that govern life. Even those who seem to thrive in their wickedness for a season will eventually see the results of what they have sown. Time does not forget. Life keeps a record. The cruelty that is planted today may not return tomorrow, but it will return, often at a time when they are least prepared for it. Those who live with integrity may face difficulties, but they can rest in the assurance that their harvest will be one of peace and fulfillment. They do not have to fear their past catching up with them, because they have planted seeds that will bring them a future of blessings. But those who have built their lives on stepping over others, deceiving and destroying, will one day come face to face with the reality they created. No one can outrun the harvest of their own actions. Cruelty is never a one-way action. It is not something that disappears after it is inflicted. Every act of harm, every word spoken to destroy another, every betrayal committed for selfish gain is like a stone thrown into a still lake. At first, it seems like only the surface is disturbed, but the ripples spread outward, growing larger until they eventually return to the place where the stone was thrown. The one who initiated the harm will one day feel its effects, often with greater force than they expected. A person may believe they can treat others unfairly and move on as if nothing happened. They may think their words, their lies, or their manipulation will remain in the past, but cruelty does not disappear. It moves in cycles. It travels unseen, taking different paths, but always making its way back to the one who set it in motion. What they thought was an act of power becomes their own downfall. What they did in secret will be revealed in public. What they used to destroy others will eventually destroy them. A person who spreads cruelty believes they are controlling the outcome. They think they can shape the lives of others through their deception, through their harshness, through their manipulation. But they are not in control of what happens next. Once cruelty is released, it begins its journey back to its source. It may take months or years, but it never loses its way. The same betrayal they use to break someone's trust will one day shatter their own relationships. The same lies they told to ruin another's reputation will be the reason they lose everything they built. The same pain they caused will return to them in a way they never expected, and when it does, they will have no way to escape it. There is a reason why those who cause suffering rarely experience peace. No matter how much they seem to gain, no matter how far they rise, their actions are chasing them. They carry the weight of their own cruelty in their spirit. They may laugh in public, but their mind is restless in private. They may appear confident, but they are always looking over their shoulder, afraid that their secrets will catch up with them. They may seem strong, but deep inside, they know they have built their life on a foundation that is bound to collapse. No one can throw cruelty into the world and not have it return. It is a boomerang that always finds its way back to the one who released it. Some people realize this too late, only when they are suffering the same pain they once inflicted on others. By then, they see the truth. What they thought was their weapon has become their curse. Cruel people often operate under the illusion that they are in control. They believe that through manipulation, deceit, and intimidation, they can shape the world around them to suit their desires. They see kindness as weakness and ruthlessness as strength. They think they are untouchable because they have mastered the art of deception, because they know how to exploit the trust of others, because they have learned how to mask their true nature behind charm and calculated act. But what they fail to understand is that the power they believe they have is an illusion. It is borrowed, temporary, and fragile. No one can build lasting success on the suffering of others and expect it to stand forever. The person who lies to gain an advantage will one day be trapped by their own falsehoods. The one who rises by stepping on others will eventually fall when there is no one left to hold them up. Those who play with the emotions of others, who manipulate and deceive, may believe they are always one step ahead, but they are blind to the fact that the very games they play will one day be played on them. The more they rely on cruelty to sustain their position, the more they set themselves up for an inevitable downfall. History is filled with examples of people who thought they could rule by fear, who believed their cruelty made them untouchable. But time always reveals the truth. The same hands that once controlled everything will one day be empty. The same tongue that spoke lies to deceive will one day be silenced by the weight of its own dishonesty. The same power that seemed unstoppable will one day vanish like a vapor. Those who believe their cruelty has made them invincible will come to understand that they were never truly in control. No one escapes the consequences of their actions forever. The higher a person climbs by harming others, the harder they will fall when their foundation collapses beneath them. The power they believed they had will turn against them. And when it does, they will realize that the control they once thought was theirs was never real to begin with. This is not always immediate, but it is inevitable. No act of cruelty, betrayal, or dishonesty goes unnoticed, even when it seems like the wicked continue to prosper. Some believe they can escape the consequences of their actions simply because they do not face punishment right away. They assume that silence means approval, that the absence of judgment means they have gotten away with their wrongdoing. But what they do not realize is that justice operates on a divine timetable. It may not strike in the moment they expect, but it never fails to arrive. A person may deceive, manipulate, and destroy others for their own gain, believing they are beyond accountability. But every injustice creates a debt, and that debt must be paid. The universe keeps a record. The pain they cause does not disappear, it waits. The harm they inflict does not vanish, it lingers, following them like a shadow, growing stronger with time. The more they escape human judgment, the more certain their eventual reckoning becomes. They may enjoy the benefits of their actions for a while, but what they have built on cruelty will eventually collapse under the weight of its own corruption. Many have witnessed individuals who seemed untouchable, who used deceit to advance, who caused harm and still walked freely. But in time, the truth always emerges. The one who destroyed others to climb higher will one day find themselves falling with no one left to catch them. The one who manipulated to gain trust will wake up one day and realize they are surrounded by people who no longer believe them. The one who inflicted pain on others will one day experience the same pain multiplied in ways they never imagined. Nothing in life is hidden forever. Every act, every word, every intention will eventually be exposed. The one who thought they could harm others without consequence will find themselves facing the weight of their own choices. The justice they once ignored will now be inescapable. And in that moment, they will understand that no one outruns the truth. A person who builds their life on cruelty does not realize that the very things they use to harm others will one day turn against them. When someone operates with dishonesty, manipulation, or betrayal, they believe they are using tools to get ahead. They see their cunning as an advantage, their ability to deceive as a skill, and their willingness to hurt others as necessary for survival. But what they fail to understand is that these tools do not remain in their hands forever. Eventually, the very weapons they used will be the reason for their downfall. A liar must always remember their lies, weaving a web so intricate that it eventually traps them. A person who betrays others will one day find themselves surrounded by those who are ready to betray them in return. A manipulator may believe they can control every situation, but they will soon realize they have built relationships based on deceit. And when the truth comes out, the very people they used will abandon them. The pain they caused will become the pain they experience. The tricks they played will be played against them. The harm they inflicted will come back not from the people they targeted, but from unexpected places in ways they never imagined. Many people think they can control the outcome of their actions. They believe that by being strategic in their cruelty, they can avoid consequences. But what they do not see is that every negative act sets a cycle in motion. The person who spreads lies will one day be the victim of falsehoods. The person who uses others will one day be left alone when they need help the most. The person who builds their success on the destruction of others will one day see everything they worked for crumble before their eyes. It is not a matter of if, it is a matter of when. There's no safety in cruelty, there's no security in deception. Those who make a habit of harming others believe they are building an empire of strength, but in reality they are constructing a house of cards. It may stand for a time, but eventually the wind of truth will blow and everything will collapse. The same weapons they once held with confidence will be the very things that destroy them. The same pain they delivered will be the burden they carry. The same darkness they sent out will be the darkness that surrounds them when they find themselves without escape. The person who inflicts pain on others believes they are unaffected by it. They assume that because they are the one causing harm, they are immune to its effects. But cruelty is not just something that touches its victims, it corrupts the soul of the one who practices it. The more a person engages in deception, betrayal, and destruction, the more they lose the ability to experience peace. They may convince themselves that they are strong, that they feel nothing, that their actions do not trouble them. But inside, something is decaying. Their conscience may be silenced for a time, but it is never truly gone. Their heart may appear hardened, but deep within, unrest is growing. A person who makes a habit of cruelty does not realize that they are poisoning themselves. Every lie they tell erodes their own sense of truth. Every betrayal they commit chips away at their ability to trust. Every time they hurt someone, they distance themselves further from genuine love, joy, and fulfillment. They may laugh in the presence of others, but when they are alone, their mind is not at rest. They may appear confident, but deep down they are never satisfied. The more they harm others, the more they carry the burden of their own choices. Cruelty creates an invisible prison. A person who manipulates others will never truly know who is being genuine with them. A person who lies will never fully believe the words of others, because they themselves know how easily truth can be twisted. A person who uses people for their own benefit will always fear being used in return. The world they have created is built on deception, so they live in constant suspicion, always looking over their shoulder, always wondering when the consequences will catch up to them. Even when they are surrounded by people, they feel alone because they have pushed away those who were sincere. There is no peace for the one who builds their life on harming others. They may try to distract themselves with success, with entertainment, with material wealth, but nothing will quiet the turmoil inside. The person they have become is not one that can experience true happiness. The relationships they have destroyed cannot be repaired with empty gestures. The trust they have broken cannot be restored with words alone. They have surrounded themselves with walls, thinking they are protecting themselves, but in reality they have imprisoned themselves in a life where love, peace, and true fulfillment are out of reach. They believed they were winning, but in the end, they have lost the most important thing of all: the ability to live with a heart that is free. The person who thrives on cruelty believes that they are in control, that they dictate the course of events, that their actions will always bring them the results they desire. But what they fail to realize is that every act of harm they commit sets forces into motion beyond their understanding. The harm they inflict does not end in the moment it is delivered. It continues rippling outward, affecting lives in ways they never intended, and eventually returning to them in forms they cannot escape. When someone lies, cheats, or manipulates to gain power, they believe they are shaping the world in their favor. They assume they can control the reactions of others, that they can silence those they have wronged, that they can move through life untouched by the consequences of their actions. But what they cannot see is that every injustice carries weight. That weight does not simply disappear. It builds, accumulating over time, creating a storm that will one day be unleashed upon them. The more they harm others, the greater the force that will one day turn against them. A person who sows deceit will find themselves surrounded by deception. They will wonder why they can trust no one, why their relationships are shallow, why even in the presence of others they feel isolated. A person who spreads pain will attract pain into their own life. They will be confused when betrayal comes from the ones they trusted, when their own strategies are used against them, when they experience the very things they once inflicted on others. They may believe they are immune, but the forces they have set in motion are already moving, already preparing their return. No one is exempt from the law of consequences. Some believe they are different, that they can harm without being harmed, that they can escape what others cannot. But life does not make exceptions. The seeds they have planted will bear fruit, whether they expect it or not. They may not see it coming, but it is coming. And when it does, they will stand face to face with everything they thought they had left behind. The pain they dismissed, the people they used, the wrongs they never acknowledged, all of it will rise before them, demanding to be accounted for. The cycle they started will complete itself, and when it does, they will realize too late that they were never in control at all. The person who walks the path of cruelty believes that their actions exist in isolation, that once they have inflicted pain, the moment is over and they can move forward without consequence. But what they fail to see is that every act of harm leaves a mark, not only on the victim, but also on the one who caused it. They believe they can move on untouched, unaffected, as if cruelty is something they can wield without it ever staining their own soul. Yet the weight of their actions follows them, shaping their reality, distorting their perception, and ultimately turning their own existence into a battleground of unrest. A person who betrays trust may believe that once they have moved on to their next target, the past is behind them. But betrayal is not easily forgotten. It lingers in the hearts of those who were wronged, creating silent enemies, sowing seeds of resistance that will one day rise against them. The one who lies may think that deception is their advantage, that they can shape any narrative they wish, but what they do not understand is that lies have a life of their own. Once spoken, they spread beyond their control, twisting into forms they never anticipated, coming back in unexpected ways to trap the very person who set them in motion. The person who takes pleasure in tearing others down assumes that their cruelty is a display of strength, that by breaking others, they elevate themselves. But destruction does not lead to power. It leads to isolation. The more they hurt, the more they remove themselves from genuine connection, the more they deceive, the more they create a reality where they cannot trust or be trusted. Over time, they realize that the very tools they used against others have built walls around them, keeping them trapped in a life where true peace and fulfillment are always just out of reach. There are those who think that because their actions have not caught up with them yet, they never will. They assume that because life has allowed them to continue, they have escaped the consequences. But time does not erase injustice. It only delays its return. The person who wounds others is unknowingly wounding themselves, creating a future where they will one day be forced to feel the depth of the pain they so carelessly inflicted. And when that day comes, they will come to understand that cruelty was never a path to success. It was always a curse in disguise, waiting for the moment to reveal itself. The one who moves through life with a heart set on cruelty believes they are untouchable. They convince themselves that power is measured by how many people they can control, how much fear they can instill, how much pain they can cause without feeling remorse. But what they fail to realize is that every act of harm they commit weakens them. It strips them of their ability to experience love, blinds them to wisdom, and makes them vulnerable in ways they cannot yet see. They think they are building an empire of strength, but in reality, they are digging a pit beneath their own feet. A person who humiliates others believes that their words are just fleeting moments of dominance, that their insults disappear the moment they are spoken. But words do not vanish. They embed themselves in the hearts of those who hear them, planting seeds of resentment, determination, and in some cases an unstoppable force for justice. Those who were mocked, belittled, and oppressed do not remain in that position forever. Some rise with a strength forged in suffering. Some become the very forces that will one day stand against the cruelty they once endured. And when that time comes, the one who thought they were untouchable will realize that the very people they dismissed are now the ones shaping the world in ways they never expected. The one who builds their life on selfish ambition assumes that success is about stepping over others, taking advantage, and manipulating circumstances in their favor. But what they fail to understand is that everything in life is interconnected. A person who hoards power will find themselves surrounded by those who seek to overthrow them. A person who thrives on deception will one day be caught in their own web of lies. The one who believes they can walk through life unchallenged will eventually meet a force greater than themselves. And in that moment, they will understand that no one is above accountability. The downfall of the cruel is not always immediate, but it is inevitable. Some call it karma, some call it divine justice. Some call it the natural order of life. No matter the name, the truth remains the same. Whatever a person sows, they will reap. Those who have lived by harming others will one day taste the fruit of their own actions. And when that moment comes, when they find themselves trapped in the very suffering they once inflicted, they will finally see that their cruelty was never a mark of strength, but a slow and certain path to their own destruction. The one who believes they can move through life harming others without consequence is blind to the invisible laws that govern existence. They assume that because no immediate punishment follows their cruelty, they have escaped justice. They mistake silence for approval, delay for exemption, but they fail to see that the universe is patient. The forces that oversee justice do not always act swiftly, but they always act. There is a divine order to all things, and no one outruns the consequences of their actions forever. A person who manipulates, deceives, and exploits others may feel a sense of triumph in the moment. They may believe they have gained the upper hand, that they have controlled the outcome in their favor. But what they do not realize is that every action they take is recorded, not on paper, not in the eyes of the world, but in the very fabric of reality. Every deed, every word, every intention sends out ripples that will one day return to them. Just as a seed grows unseen beneath the soil before breaking through the ground, so too does justice work in silence before it manifests in ways undeniable and irreversible. The one who builds their life on harming others does not realize they are building on unstable ground. For a time, their world may seem secure. They may accumulate wealth, power, influence. They may silence their critics, remove obstacles, and create an illusion of success. But a structure built on injustice cannot stand forever. At some point, the foundation will crack. The weight of their own actions will become too heavy to bear, and what they once thought was an unshakable empire will collapse beneath them. They will look around in confusion, wondering how everything they built could come crashing down. But it will not be an accident. It will not be misfortune. It will be the inevitable consequence of the choices they made, the return of everything they once thought they had escaped. Some believe that because they have outlasted their victims, because they have silenced those they hurt, they are free from accountability. But they forget that time does not erase wrongdoing. Justice does not need an audience. The one who harms others may continue walking as if nothing has changed, but their own soul is deteriorating. They may not realize it at first, but their peace will slowly slip away. They will find themselves restless, unable to trust, unable to truly enjoy the fruits of their deception. They will live in constant fear of being exposed, fear of being outdone, fear of facing what they have spent a lifetime running from. And then, when they least expect it, justice will arrive. It may come through the very people they oppressed. It may come through circumstances they never anticipated. It may come in the form of regret so deep that no wealth, no power, no influence can undo it. But one thing is certain, cruelty always returns to its source. And when it does not come as a whisper. It comes as a storm, sweeping away everything in its path, leaving the one who caused harm to finally stand alone in the ruins of what they once thought was an invincible life. No one escapes the weight of their own actions. The one who sows cruelty may believe they have outsmarted justice, but they are merely running on borrowed time. Life is not a game where deception goes unnoticed, nor is power a shield against consequence. Every choice plants a seed, and when the harvest comes, no one can reject the fruit they themselves have grown. There's a reason why history remembers the rise and fall of those who built their lives on the suffering of others. The same forces that once lifted them up eventually turned against them, not by accident, but by design. Those who walk the path of destruction will one day find that the very road they paved leads to their own downfall. True strength is not found in control, but in character. True success is not built on the pain of others, but on integrity. The wise understand that justice moves in unseen ways, shaping the destinies of all. The fool believes they can outrun it, but when the day of reckoning comes, they will learn a truth they can no longer deny. Whatever they gave to the world has now given back to them. Our minds are the soil in which the seeds of our thoughts are planted. What we allow to take root in that soil determines the harvest we will reap in our lives. The statement, what we think we become, is not just a proverb, it is a principle of life. Your thoughts shape your character, your actions, and ultimately your destiny. When we meditate on positive, purposeful thoughts, we align ourselves with God's vision for our lives. The mind is the battlefield where success and failure are determined. If you fill your mind with thoughts of doubt, fear, and limitation, those thoughts will manifest in your life. But if you choose to dwell on thoughts of faith, courage, and abundance, you will see those things manifest as well. God has given us the power of choice, the ability to control what we allow into our minds. We are not helpless victims of circumstance, but active participants in the creation of our lives. The enemy knows that if he can control your thoughts, he can control your life. That is why the Bible tells us to guard our hearts and minds, to renew our minds daily, and to think on things that are true, noble, right? Pure, lovely, and admirable. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. If you think you are weak, you will be weak. If you think you are a failure, you will fail. But if you think you are more than a conqueror, you will overcome. If you think you are blessed, you will walk in blessings. Your thoughts are powerful. They create your reality. You must understand that your mind is a tool that God has given you to fulfill his purpose on earth. It is not a playground for negative thoughts or idle fantasies. It is a workshop where the plans and purposes of God are crafted and brought to life. Your thoughts are like a blueprint, and your life is the construction of that blueprint. So what are you building? Are you constructing a life of purpose, power, and prosperity, or are you building a life of mediocrity, fear, and failure? The choice is yours. It starts with what you allow yourself to think. Remember, you are the architect of your life, and your thoughts are the building blocks. Think big, think bold, think in alignment with God's word, and watch as your life transforms into something extraordinary. What you think, you become. So think on things that are worthy of the greatness God has placed within you. The power of thought is one of the most profound forces in the universe. It is the invisible engine driving our actions, shaping our emotions, and determining the course of our lives. Every great achievement in history, every significant breakthrough, and every act of courage or creativity began as a thought in someone's mind. Thoughts are the seeds that, when nurtured, grow into the reality we experience. Our thoughts have the power to elevate us or bring us low, to inspire us or paralyze us with fear. They can build up or tear down, bring light or darkness, hope or despair. This power is given to every individual by God, and it is within this domain of thought that our true potential is either realized or left untapped. Consider this: a single thought, when believed and acted upon, can change the trajectory of your entire life. It can ignite a vision, spark a passion, and drive you toward your God-given purpose. On the other hand, a single negative thought, left unchecked, can undermine your confidence, erode your faith, and lead you down a path of defeat. This is why the Bible urges us to renew our minds, to take every thought captive, and to meditate on things that are true, noble, and praiseworthy. Because what we think, we become. If our thoughts are centered on truth, on God's promises, on the greatness He has placed within us, then our lives will reflect that truth. We will walk in victory, fulfill our purpose, and experience the abundant life that God intends for us. But if our thoughts are filled with doubt, fear, and negativity, they will chain us to a life of limitation far below what we were created to be. The power of thought is such that it can either propel us toward our destiny or keep us bound in mediocrity. It is a power that must be understood, respected, and harnessed for good. Your thoughts are the architects of your future. What you choose to think about today will shape the person you become tomorrow. So choose your thoughts wisely. Let them be thoughts that reflect the greatness, the potential, and the divine purpose that God has placed within you. For in the end, what you think, you will become. Imagine your mind as a rich, fertile soil capable of growing anything you plant within it. Just as a gardener carefully chooses the seeds he plants, knowing that the quality of the soil and the type of seed will determine the harvest, so too must we be mindful of the thoughts we allow to take root in our minds. The mind, like soil, doesn't discriminate. It will nourish and grow whatever seeds, whether positive or negative, we plant within it. Every thought you entertain is like a seed. If you plant seeds of positivity, faith, and hope, you can expect a harvest of joy, peace, and success. These seeds will grow into strong, healthy plants that bear fruit in your life, producing outcomes that align with God's purpose for you. But if you plant seeds of doubt, fear, and negativity, those too will take root and grow. Over time, they will sprout into weeds that choke out the good, preventing the positive seeds from flourishing. Just as a gardener must be diligent in tending to his garden, watering the plants, pulling out the weeds, and ensuring that the soil is healthy, we must be vigilant in tending to our minds. We need to nurture the positive thoughts, those that inspire, uplift, and propel us forward, while uprooting the negative thoughts that can hinder our growth. This requires daily attention and effort, as the mind left untended can easily become overrun with the weeds of worry, fear, and doubt. It's important to remember that the soil of your mind is always at work, growing whatever is planted there. If you allow negative thoughts to dominate, you'll find yourself reaping a harvest of stress, anxiety, and missed opportunities. But if you consciously choose to plant thoughts of faith, gratitude, and optimism, you'll begin to see a different kind of harvest, one that brings fulfillment, joy, and the manifestation of God's promises in your life. The mind as soil also implies that growth is a process. Just as a seed doesn't become a tree overnight, your thoughts need time to mature and bear fruit. This process requires patience, consistency, and faith. You may not see immediate results, but trust that the seeds you are planting in your mind will grow. Keep nurturing them with positive reinforcement, prayer, and meditation on God's word, and in time, you will see the fruit of your labor. Ultimately, the condition of your mind, the soil, determines the quality of your life. A well-tended mind filled with positive, faith-filled thoughts will produce a life that is fruitful and abundant. But a neglected mind, left to the whims of negative thinking, will produce a life filled with frustration and unfulfilled potential. Therefore, be intentional about what you plant in the soil of your mind, for what grows there will shape your future. Beliefs are the invisible architects of our lives, shaping our actions, decisions, and ultimately our destiny. The phrase manifestation of belief speaks to the profound truth that what we deeply believe, whether consciously or unconsciously, has the power to materialize in our reality. Our beliefs act as a lens through which we perceive the world, influencing how we interpret events, how we react to challenges, and how we interact with others. When we hold strong, positive beliefs, we create a foundation for success and fulfillment. If you believe you are capable, worthy, and deserving of good things, that belief will guide your actions and decisions, leading you to opportunities that align with those beliefs. You will naturally gravitate towards situations that confirm your worth, and you will have the confidence to pursue goals that reflect your potential. This is because your beliefs shape your perception, and your perception, in turn, shapes your reality. Conversely, if you hold negative beliefs, such as believing that you are unworthy, incapable, or destined to fail, those beliefs will also manifest in your life. They will become self-fulfilling prophecies, leading you to sabotage your own efforts, avoid opportunities, and settle for less than what you are truly capable of achieving. Negative beliefs act as barriers, blocking the flow of blessings and opportunities that could otherwise come your way. The manifestation of beliefs is not just a psychological phenomenon, it is also a spiritual principle. Throughout the Bible, we see that faith, the belief in things not yet seen, has the power to bring about miraculous outcomes. Jesus often emphasized the importance of belief, telling those he healed that their faith had made them whole. What we believe in our hearts has the power to bring about real change in our lives because it aligns us with the spiritual truths and principles that govern the universe. It's important to understand that our beliefs are not fixed, they can be shaped and transformed. If you find that your current beliefs are not serving you, if they are holding you back, creating fear, or causing you to miss out on the fullness of life that God has for you, you have the power to change them. By renewing your mind with the truth of God's word, you can replace limiting beliefs with empowering ones. You can shift from a mindset of scarcity to one of abundance, from fear to faith, from doubt to confidence. This transformation begins with awareness. Take inventory of your beliefs. Ask yourself, what do I truly believe about myself, my abilities, and my future? Be honest about the beliefs that may be holding you back. Once you've identified these limiting beliefs, challenge them with the truth. Replace them with beliefs that reflect God's promises, His love for you, and the potential He has placed within you. As you do this, you will begin to see the manifestation of new positive beliefs in your life. Your actions will align with these new beliefs, leading to different outcomes that are more in line with the abundant life God desires for you. Remember, your beliefs are powerful. They are the seeds that grow into the reality you experience. What you choose to believe today will shape the life you live tomorrow. Therefore, believe in the best, believe in yourself, and believe in the greatness that God has placed within you. For what you believe, you will become. The contrast between positive and negative thinking is like the difference between light and darkness, between growth and stagnation. Our thoughts are not just fleeting ideas that pass through our minds. They are powerful forces that shape our reality, influence our behavior, and determine the quality of our lives. Understanding the impact of positive versus negative thinking is crucial because it highlights the profound effect our mindset has on our overall well-being and success. Positive thinking is a mindset that focuses on the bright side of life. It's about seeing opportunities in challenges, potential in every setback, and solutions in every problem. When you engage in positive thinking, you are choosing to believe that good things are possible, that difficulties can be overcome, and that you have the ability to achieve your goals. This kind of thinking energizes you, fuels your motivation, and propels you toward your desired outcomes. When you think positively, you open yourself up to possibilities. Your mind becomes a magnet for opportunities, and you begin to attract circumstances and people that align with your optimistic outlook. Positive thinking encourages resilience because it helps you to see obstacles as temporary and surmountable. It fosters creativity as you become more inclined to think outside the box and find innovative solutions to problems. Moreover, positive thinking has a direct impact on your physical and emotional health, reducing stress and increasing your overall sense of well-being. In contrast, negative thinking is a mindset that dwells on the difficulties, the obstacles, and the potential for failure. It's a perspective that focuses on what's wrong rather than what's right, on what could go wrong rather than what could go well. Negative thinking drains your energy, saps your motivation, and keeps you stuck in a cycle of fear and doubt. When you engage in negative thinking, you are more likely to give up on your goals, to settle for less, and to miss out on opportunities that could lead to growth and success. Negative thinking creates a self-fulfilling prophecy. When you expect the worst, you are more likely to experience it. This is because negative thoughts lead to negative actions, or in many cases, inaction. If you believe that a goal is unattainable, you won't put in the effort required to achieve it, and as a result, you'll confirm your negative belief. This mindset closes off possibilities and keeps you trapped in a cycle of defeat. The impact of negative thinking extends beyond just missed opportunities. It can affect your relationships, your health, and your overall quality of life. Constantly dwelling on negative thoughts can lead to anxiety, depression, and other mental health issues. It can strain relationships as you become more prone to misunderstandings, conflicts, and a general sense of dissatisfaction. Physically, negative thinking can manifest as stress-related illnesses, fatigue, and a weakened immune system. The choice between positive and negative thinking is one that we face every day. It's a choice that determines not only how we feel, but also how we live. While we can't always control the circumstances we face, we can control how we respond to them. By choosing to focus on the positive, we take control of our thoughts and, by extension, our lives. Positive thinking doesn't mean ignoring the challenges or pretending that everything is perfect. Rather, it means acknowledging the difficulties while believing in your ability to overcome them. It's important to cultivate a habit of positive thinking, especially in the face of challenges. Surround yourself with positivity, whether it's through uplifting conversations, inspiring reading, or simply spending time with people who encourage and support you. Practice gratitude as it shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's abundant in your life. And most importantly, align your thoughts with the truth of God's word, which reminds us that with faith, all things are possible. Ultimately, the difference between positive and negative thinking is the difference between a life of abundance and a life of limitation. Positive thinking leads to growth, success, and fulfillment, while negative thinking leads to stagnation, failure, and frustration. The power is in your hands, or rather in your mind. Choose to think positively and watch as your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. The ability to control our thoughts is one of the most powerful tools we have in shaping our lives. Our thoughts are the architects of our reality. They dictate how we perceive the world, how we react to challenges, and how we interact with others. Recognizing that we have control over our thoughts is both empowering and essential for personal growth and success. It's a reminder that we are not passive recipients of life's circumstances, but active participants in creating our own destiny. Control over thoughts begins with awareness. It's about recognizing the thoughts that flow through our minds daily and understanding their impact on our emotions, decisions, and actions. Too often, people go through life on autopilot, allowing their thoughts to be influenced by external circumstances, past experiences, or the opinions of others. But when we become conscious of our thoughts, we gain the power to choose which ones we will entertain and which ones we will discard. The mind is like a garden, and our thoughts are the seeds we plant. If we allow every thought to take root, regardless of its nature, our minds will become overrun with negativity, doubt, and fear. However, when we take control of our thoughts, we can intentionally plant seeds of positivity, faith, and hope. This doesn't mean that negative thoughts will never arise. They will. But with practice, we can learn to recognize them, challenge them, and replace them with thoughts that align with our goals and values. Controlling our thoughts also involves taking responsibility for the direction of our thinking. It's easy to blame circumstances, other people, or even our past for the thoughts that dominate our minds. But true empowerment comes when we realize that regardless of external factors, we have the authority to direct our thoughts. We can choose to focus on what is good, what is possible, and on what aligns with our purpose. This control over thoughts is not just a matter of willpower, it's a discipline that requires practice and consistency. It involves being vigilant about what we allow into our minds. Just as we guard our homes against intruders, we must guard our minds against negative influences. This means being selective about the media we consume, the conversations we engage in, and the environments we expose ourselves to. By surrounding ourselves with positivity, we create a fertile ground for constructive thoughts to flourish. One of the most effective ways to control our thoughts is through the practice of mindfulness. Mindfulness is the art of being present in the moment, fully aware of our thoughts and feelings without judgment. When we practice mindfulness, we create a space between our thoughts and our reactions. This space gives us the ability to observe our thoughts, understand their origin, and decide whether they serve us or not. Mindfulness allows us to respond to life's challenges with clarity and intention rather than reacting impulsively out of fear or frustration. Another powerful tool in controlling our thoughts is the process of renewing the mind. This concept, rooted in biblical teachings, encourages us to continually refresh our minds with positive, life-affirming thoughts that align with God's Word. By meditating on Scripture's affirmations and uplifting messages, we can rewire our thought patterns, replacing limiting beliefs with empowering truths. This renewal process transforms not only our thinking, but also our lives as we begin to see the world through a lens of faith, hope, and love. The ability to control our thoughts also empowers us to break free from negative cycles. Many people find themselves trapped in patterns of thinking that keep them stuck in fear, doubt, or self-sabotage. But by taking control of our thoughts, we can disrupt these patterns and create new positive ones. We can choose to focus on solutions rather than problems, opportunities rather than obstacles, and blessings rather than burdens. This shift in focus changes our experience of life, making us more resilient, optimistic, and proactive. In the end, controlling our thoughts is about taking charge of our inner world. It's about recognizing that while we may not always have control over what happens to us, we always have control over how we think about it. And in that control lies our power. The thoughts we choose to entertain today will shape the reality we experience tomorrow. So take control of your thoughts, direct them toward your highest aspirations, and watch as your life begins to reflect the greatness within you. The mind is often described as a battlefield, and this analogy is powerful because it vividly illustrates the intense struggle that takes place within our thoughts. Every day we face a mental war between positive and negative influences, between faith and doubt, and between the truth and lies that attempt to sway us. The outcomes of these battles are critical because they determine the direction of our lives, our emotional well-being, and our ability to fulfill our potential. Understanding the mind as a battlefield is essential for anyone who wants to lead a victorious and purposeful life. In any battle, strategy is key. The same is true for the battles that occur in our minds. The enemy, whether it's fear, insecurity, negativity, or temptation, knows that if it can control our thoughts, it can control our lives. This is why the mind is the primary target. Every thought that enters our mind is like an arrow aimed at our core beliefs, values, and self-perception. If we are not vigilant, these thoughts can penetrate our defenses, leading us to make decisions based on fear, anger, or despair, rather than wisdom, love, and faith. In this battlefield, one of the most significant challenges is the subtlety of the attacks. Negative thoughts often enter our minds quietly, disguised as concerns, doubts, or seemingly harmless self-criticism. Over time, these thoughts can accumulate, eroding our confidence, distorting our perception of reality, and leading us away from our true purpose. Without even realizing it, we can find ourselves trapped in a cycle of negative thinking, where each thought reinforces the next, creating a downward spiral that is difficult to escape. However, just as in any battle, we have weapons at our disposal. One of the most powerful weapons we possess is the truth. The truth about who we are, what we are capable of, and the promises that God has made to us. When we arm ourselves with the truth, we are able to counteract the lies that attempt to take root in our minds. For example, when thoughts of inadequacy arise, we can combat them with the truth that we are fearfully and wonderfully made, endowed with gifts and talents by our Creator. When fear tries to take hold, we can remind ourselves that God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. Another critical weapon in the battle for our minds is prayer and meditation. Through prayer, we can seek divine assistance in guarding our minds and fortifying our thoughts. Prayer helps us to focus on what is true, noble, and praiseworthy, redirecting our minds from the negative to the positive. Meditation on scripture or positive affirmations is like reinforcing the walls of our mental fortress, making it harder for negative thoughts to penetrate. By regularly filling our minds with uplifting and empowering thoughts, we build a strong defense against the attacks that come our way. The mind as a battlefield also means that victory is possible, but it requires intentional effort. Just as soldiers must train and prepare for battle, we too must be diligent in preparing our minds. This preparation involves being mindful of the influences we allow into our lives, whether through media, conversations, or environments. It also involves being disciplined in our thinking, quickly recognizing and rejecting thoughts that do not serve us or align with our values and goals. One of the most crucial aspects of this battle is persistence. Victory in the mind is not achieved in a single moment, but through ongoing daily effort. There will be days when the battle feels overwhelming, when negative thoughts seem to come in waves, and when doubt threatens to overshadow faith. In these moments, it's important to remember that persistence is key. Every time we choose to reject a negative thought and replace it with a positive one, we are winning a small victory. Over time, these small victories add up, leading to a transformed mind and consequently a transformed life. Understanding the mind as a battlefield also helps us to be compassionate with ourselves. Just as no soldier goes into battle without facing challenges, we too will face setbacks and struggles in our mental battles. There will be days when negative thoughts get the better of us, when we feel discouraged or overwhelmed. But just as in any battle, what matters most is not that we never face difficulties, but that we continue to fight. Each new day is an opportunity to reclaim lost ground, to reinforce our mental defenses, and to continue striving toward victory. Ultimately, the mind as a battlefield is a reminder that we are in control of our destiny. The thoughts we allow to win in our minds will shape our actions, our relationships, and our futures. By recognizing the battles that take place within our thoughts, by arming ourselves with truth, and by persistently choosing to focus on the positive, we can emerge victorious. The battlefield of the mind is where the most important victories are won, and those victories will lead to a life of purpose, fulfillment, and peace. The influence of faith is profound and transformative, extending far beyond mere belief. Faith is not just an abstract concept or a set of religious doctrines. It is a dynamic force that shapes our reality, guides our actions, and influences the outcomes of our lives. It acts as a catalyst that can turn dreams into reality, challenges into opportunities, and obstacles into stepping stones. Understanding the influence of faith helps us grasp how deeply it impacts our journey, our relationships, and our ability to achieve our goals. Faith serves as a powerful guide and motivator. When we have faith in a higher purpose or in the promises of God, we find the strength to pursue our goals with determination and resilience. Faith provides clarity and direction, helping us to stay focused on our objectives even in the face of adversity. It helps us to trust in the process, knowing that even when we cannot see the outcome, there is a divine plan at work. This trust reduces anxiety and fear, allowing us to move forward with confidence and peace. The influence of faith is also evident in our ability to overcome challenges. Faith acts as a source of inner strength, empowering us to face difficulties with courage and perseverance. When we encounter setbacks or obstacles, faith encourages us to view these challenges as opportunities for growth and learning rather than as insurmountable barriers. It shifts our perspective from focusing on the problem to recognizing the potential for overcoming and emerging stronger. This shift in mindset is crucial for resilience as it transforms adversity into a platform for personal and spiritual development. Moreover, faith has the power to transform our relationships. When we approach our interactions with others through the lens of faith, we are more likely to act with compassion, understanding, and forgiveness. Faith encourages us to see the best in others, to build relationships based on mutual respect and love, and to handle conflicts with grace and empathy. This influence extends to how we relate to ourselves as well. Faith fosters self-compassion and a positive self-image, helping us to view ourselves as worthy and capable individuals. These transformed relationships enhance our sense of community and support, contributing to a more fulfilling and harmonious life. Faith also plays a crucial role in manifesting our potential and achieving our goals. When we believe in our potential and trust that we are equipped to succeed, we are more likely to take proactive steps toward our aspirations. Faith fuels ambition and drives us to pursue our dreams with enthusiasm and persistence. It provides the inner conviction that our efforts will bear fruit even when progress seems slow or uncertain. By aligning our actions with our faith, we harness a powerful energy that propels us towards success and fulfillment. The influence of faith extends to our mental and emotional well-being. A strong sense of faith provides comfort and solace during times of stress and uncertainty. It helps us to maintain hope and optimism, even in the face of difficulties. Faith can also alleviate feelings of loneliness and despair, offering a sense of connection to something greater than ourselves. This emotional support fosters a positive outlook and a resilient mindset, which are essential for navigating the ups and downs of life. Faith also shapes our identity and sense of purpose. When we have faith in a higher power or in our personal mission, we gain a deeper understanding of who we are and why we are here. This understanding provides a sense of direction and fulfillment as we align our actions with our values and beliefs. Faith helps us to recognize our intrinsic worth and potential, guiding us toward our true calling and purpose. This alignment with our core values and beliefs brings a sense of satisfaction and joy that transcends material success. The transformative influence of faith is also evident in the power of positive affirmations and visualization. By focusing on affirmations that align with our faith, we reinforce our beliefs and strengthen our resolve. Visualization techniques grounded in faith help us to see and believe in the possibility of our goals, making them more attainable. These practices harness the power of faith to create a clear vision of our desired outcomes, enhancing our motivation and commitment. In summary, the influence of faith is a powerful force that shapes our reality, guides our actions, and transforms our lives. It provides direction, strength, and resilience, helping us to overcome challenges, build meaningful relationships, and achieve our goals. Faith fosters a positive mindset and emotional well-being, and it aligns us with our true purpose and potential. By embracing the influence of faith, we tap into a transformative power that propels us toward a life of purpose, fulfillment, and abundance. Guarding the mind is a crucial practice for maintaining mental and emotional well-being, as well as for achieving personal and spiritual growth. The mind, with its vast capacity for thought, imagination, and perception, is constantly exposed to external influences and internal impulses. Just as a fortress needs vigilant guards to protect it from invaders, our minds require careful protection to ensure that only beneficial and constructive thoughts are allowed to flourish. To effectively guard the mind, one must first become aware of the nature and sources of thoughts that influence it. The mind is constantly bombarded with information from various sources, media, conversations, social interactions, and even our own internal dialogues. Not all of these sources are positive or beneficial. Negative influences such as pessimistic news, toxic relationships, or self-destructive thinking can seep into our minds and affect our emotional state, behavior, and overall outlook on life. Awareness involves recognizing these influences and understanding their potential impact on our mental and emotional health. Guarding the mind also involves setting boundaries to protect it from harmful influences. This means being selective about the information and interactions you expose yourself to. For instance, if certain media or social media platforms consistently contribute to negative thinking or stress, it may be necessary to limit your exposure or seek alternative sources of information. Similarly, if certain relationships or environments contribute to your mental distress, setting boundaries or distancing yourself from these sources can be beneficial. By curating your mental environment, you create a space that is more conducive to positive and constructive thinking. Another critical aspect of guarding the mind is managing internal dialogues and self-talk. Our internal conversations play a significant role in shaping our self-esteem and outlook on life. Negative self-talk, characterized by self-criticism, doubt, and fear, can undermine confidence and create a cycle of negativity. To counteract this, practice positive affirmations and self-compassion. Replace critical or limiting thoughts with affirmations that reinforce your strengths, abilities, and worth. This practice helps to reframe your mindset, fostering a more positive and resilient mental state. Mindfulness and meditation are powerful tools for guarding the mind. Mindfulness involves being fully present and aware of your thoughts and feelings without judgment. This awareness allows you to observe negative or disruptive thoughts without being consumed by them. Meditation, on the other hand, helps to center your mind and reduce stress, providing a mental shield against negative influences. Regular mindfulness and meditation practices can enhance your ability to maintain a calm and focused mind, even amidst external pressures. Engaging in activities that promote mental well-being is also essential for guarding the mind. This includes practices such as exercise, which has been shown to improve mood and cognitive function, healthy eating, which supports brain health, and adequate sleep, which is crucial for mental restoration. Additionally, pursuing hobbies and activities that bring joy and fulfillment can serve as positive distractions, contributing to a balanced and resilient mental state. Spiritual practices such as prayer and reflection can provide an additional layer of protection for the mind. These practices offer comfort, guidance, and a sense of purpose, helping to anchor your thoughts in positive and uplifting values. By connecting with a higher power or purpose, you can gain perspective and strength, which can fortify your mental defenses against negative influences. Guarding the mind also involves seeking support when needed. It's important to recognize when you may need help managing stress, anxiety, or other mental health challenges. Professional support, such as therapy or counseling, can provide valuable tools and strategies for navigating these challenges. Additionally, support from friends, family, or support groups can offer encouragement and perspective, helping you to stay resilient in the face of adversity. Finally, cultivating a practice of gratitude can be a powerful tool in guarding the mind. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is lacking or negative to what is positive and fulfilling. By regularly acknowledging and appreciating the good in your life, you reinforce a mindset of abundance and positivity. This practice can help to counterbalance negative thoughts and maintain a healthy, optimistic outlook. In conclusion, guarding the mind is a proactive and ongoing process that involves awareness, boundary setting, positive self-talk, mindfulness, and spiritual practices. It requires active effort to protect your mental and emotional well-being from negative influences and to foster a positive and resilient mindset. By implementing these strategies, you can create a mental environment that supports your personal and spiritual growth, helping you to navigate life's challenges with strength and grace. Alignment with God's vision is a profound concept that underscores the importance of aligning our personal goals, desires, and actions with a higher divine purpose. It involves recognizing that our lives are part of a greater plan and striving to live in harmony with the direction that God has set for us. This alignment is not merely about following a set of rules or fulfilling religious obligations. It is about deeply connecting with a divine purpose and allowing that connection to guide and shape our lives. When we speak of alignment with God's vision, we are referring to the process of syncing our personal aspirations and actions with the broader divine plan that God has for us. This alignment requires a deep level of self-awareness and understanding of what God desires for us. It involves prayerful contemplation, seeking wisdom through Scripture, and being open to the guidance of the Holy Spirit. By engaging in this process, we allow ourselves to be led by a higher purpose, rather than solely pursuing our own ambitions or desires. One of the key aspects of alignment with God's vision is surrendering our own will to His. This means setting aside personal ego, ambitions, and plans that are not in harmony with God's purposes. Surrendering to God's will requires humility and trust, acknowledging that His plan for us is ultimately more fulfilling and purposeful than any plan we could devise on our own. This surrender is not about passivity, but about actively seeking and following divine guidance, making choices that reflect our faith and commitment to God's plan. Alignment with God's vision also involves living according to the values and principles outlined in Scripture. The Bible provides a roadmap for understanding God's vision for our lives, offering guidance on how to live with integrity, compassion, and purpose. By adhering to these values, we ensure that our actions and decisions are in harmony with the divine principles that shape our lives. This alignment helps us to navigate challenges with grace and to make decisions that reflect God's love and wisdom. In practical terms, alignment with God's vision often requires a shift in perspective. It means viewing our daily activities and goals through the lens of our faith, asking ourselves whether they align with the greater purpose that God has for us. For instance, in our careers, we might consider how our work serves others and contributes to the common good. In our relationships, we might evaluate how our interactions reflect God's love and support. This perspective helps to ensure that our lives are not merely focused on personal success or gratification, but are centered on fulfilling a divine purpose. Furthermore, aligning with God's vision involves seeking guidance through prayer and meditation. Regular communication with God allows us to gain clarity and direction, helping us to understand our purpose more fully. It also provides the strength and encouragement needed to stay true to God's plan, especially when faced with obstacles or temptations. Prayer and meditation cultivate a deep personal connection with God, enhancing our ability to discern His vision for our lives and to act upon it faithfully. The process of alignment also includes being open to divine intervention and unexpected opportunities. Sometimes God's vision for us may unfold in ways we do not anticipate. Being receptive to these changes and flexible in our approach allows us to adapt and grow in alignment with God's purposes. This openness requires faith and a willingness to step outside of our comfort zones, trusting that God's plan is unfolding perfectly even when we cannot see the full picture. Moreover, alignment with God's vision enriches our sense of fulfillment and purpose. When our lives are aligned with a higher purpose, we experience a deeper sense of satisfaction and joy. This fulfillment comes from knowing that our efforts and choices contribute to something greater than ourselves and that we are living in accordance with the divine plan. It transforms our understanding of success from mere personal achievement to a meaningful journey of service and contribution. Ultimately, aligning with God's vision is a continual process of growth and transformation. It involves regularly reassessing our goals and actions, seeking divine guidance, and remaining committed to living out our faith in every aspect of our lives. This alignment is not a one-time achievement, but an ongoing journey of faith and obedience marked by moments of reflection, adjustment, and reaffirmation of our commitment to God's purpose. In conclusion, alignment with God's vision is about harmonizing our lives with a divine purpose, allowing God's guidance to shape our actions and decisions. It requires surrender, adherence to biblical values, and a perspective that prioritizes spiritual fulfillment over personal gain. By actively seeking and following God's vision, we create a life that is both purposeful and deeply connected to a higher divine plan, leading to a profound sense of fulfillment and alignment with our true purpose. Becoming what we think is a powerful and profound concept that underscores the influence of our thoughts on shaping our reality. This idea suggests that our mental processes, beliefs, and attitudes are not merely reflections of who we are, but are active forces in creating and defining our identities and experiences. Our thoughts have the power to mold our behaviors, influence our interactions, and ultimately shape the course of our lives. The principle of becoming what we think is rooted in the understanding that our thoughts are more than fleeting mental events. They are foundational to our character and destiny. The thoughts we choose to focus on, nurture, and believe in can profoundly affect our actions and the outcomes we experience. When we constantly think negatively or doubt our abilities, we set ourselves up for limitations and failures. Conversely, when we cultivate positive, empowering thoughts, we create a pathway to growth, success, and fulfillment. One key aspect of this principle is the concept of self-fulfilling prophecy. Our beliefs about ourselves and our capabilities influence how we act and respond to various situations. If we think of ourselves as capable and resilient, we are more likely to take on challenges with confidence and persistence. On the other hand, if we view ourselves as inadequate or unworthy, we may avoid opportunities and fail to reach our potential. This dynamic shows how deeply our self-perceptions and thoughts impact our real-world outcomes. To harness the power of becoming what we think, it is essential to be mindful of our thought patterns. Awareness is the first step in transforming our thinking. By paying attention to the recurring thoughts and beliefs that dominate our minds, we can identify whether they are supportive or detrimental. This awareness allows us to make conscious choices about which thoughts to reinforce and which to challenge. It involves a process of self-examination and critical thinking to discern which thoughts align with our goals and values and which ones do not. Another important aspect is the practice of intentional thinking. This involves deliberately choosing and cultivating thoughts that align with our desired outcomes and values. Positive affirmations, visualization techniques, and goal-setting exercises are practical tools that can help in this process. By regularly engaging in these practices, we reinforce positive beliefs and create a mental environment that supports our aspirations. For example, if our goal is to develop greater self-confidence, we might practice affirmations that emphasize our strengths and past successes, thereby shifting our mindset towards a more positive and empowering view of ourselves. It is also important to recognize the role of beliefs in shaping our reality. Beliefs are deeply held convictions that influence our perceptions and behaviors. Our core beliefs about ourselves, others, and the world at large play a significant role in determining how we experience life. When we believe in our ability to succeed, we are more likely to take proactive steps toward achieving our goals. Conversely, limiting beliefs can hold us back and create self-imposed barriers. Changing these beliefs requires effort and persistence, but it is essential for creating a positive and empowered mindset. The concept of becoming what we think is also closely tied to emotional and behavioral patterns. Our thoughts influence our emotions, which in turn drive our actions. For instance, if we consistently think about our goals with enthusiasm and optimism, we are likely to feel motivated and energized, which propels us toward taking positive actions. Conversely, negative or fearful thoughts can lead to feelings of doubt and hesitation, which may prevent us from taking necessary steps. By managing our thoughts and focusing on positive outcomes, we can influence our emotional responses and behavior in a constructive way. Furthermore, becoming what we think involves a continuous process of growth and self-improvement. Our thoughts and beliefs are not static, they evolve as we gain new experiences and insights. Embracing a mindset of continuous learning and development allows us to adapt and refine our thoughts to better align with our evolving goals and values. This process involves being open to change, challenging outdated beliefs, and being willing to explore new perspectives that enhance our growth. Ultimately, the principle of becoming what we think highlights the power of the mind in shaping our lives. Our thoughts are not just passive reflections, but active forces that influence our reality. By cultivating positive, empowering thoughts and beliefs, we create a mental environment that supports our goals and aspirations. This proactive approach to thinking transforms our experiences, behaviors, and outcomes, leading to a life that reflects our true potential and desires. In conclusion, the principle of becoming what we think serves as a profound reminder of the incredible power of our minds in shaping our lives. Our thoughts are not mere fleeting notions, but are influential forces that mold our identities, drive our actions, and determine our outcomes. And by consciously selecting and nurturing positive, empowering thoughts, we align ourselves with our goals and aspirations, paving the way for personal growth and fulfillment. Understanding that our thoughts can create our reality empowers us to take control of our mental landscape. It challenges us to be vigilant about the beliefs we hold, the self-talk we engage in, and the patterns we reinforce. Through mindfulness, intentional thinking, and a commitment to positive change, we can transform our mindset and consequently our lives. The journey of becoming what we think involves continuous self-awareness and growth. It requires us to confront limiting beliefs, embrace our strengths, and remain open to evolving perspectives. By doing so, we harness the power of our thoughts to create a reality that reflects our true potential and purpose. Ultimately, the alignment of our thoughts with our highest aspirations leads to a life of greater fulfillment, success, and joy. By embracing this principle, we can navigate life's challenges with resilience, pursue our dreams with confidence, and live a life that is deeply aligned with our core values and divine purpose. Our thoughts, therefore, are not just reflections of who we are, but the architects of who we are becoming. Patience is not simply about waiting, it is a profound expression of faith and trust in the process of life. The world might try to tell you that your silence is a weakness, that your stillness is a sign of indecision, but in truth, your patience is a mighty force, building strength where others see nothing. You see, true patience is not passive. It is an active waiting, an intentional stillness that prepares you for something greater. When you are patient, you begin to recognize the small signs that your silent waiting is not in vain. The first sign of reward is a deeper sense of peace. There is something incredibly powerful about finding peace in the midst of chaos. While the world may rush to solve problems, you find yourself rooted in calmness. This inner peace is not by accident. It is the evidence of your quiet confidence that everything is unfolding at the right time. You are no longer driven by impatience or anxiety because you understand that everything has a season. The second sign is that people around you begin to recognize the value of your patience. The world is filled with noise, and in the midst of it, your silent strength becomes a beacon. People who once questioned you, doubted your decisions, or saw your silence as inaction will begin to see the wisdom in your approach. They will come to realize that your patience is not a form of weakness, but a form of strength they do not yet fully understand. You may not speak much, but your actions and your results will speak for you. Another sign is the arrival of opportunities that were previously hidden. When you are patient, you are not just waiting for things to happen, you are being prepared for what's to come. Opportunities that seemed out of reach or invisible to others will start to show up for you. Your ability to wait has sharpened your perception and readiness, positioning you to take advantage of things that others might miss. When the moment finally arrives, you will be able to step into it with confidence because you have been silently preparing all along. A fourth sign is the transformation within yourself. Silent patience changes you. It stretches your capacity for endurance, teaches you humility, and refines your character. Through patience, you learn to trust the process and understand that growth is happening even when you don't see immediate results. You begin to notice that the things that used to shake you no longer affect you the same way. The challenges that once seemed insurmountable are now opportunities to grow stronger. Lastly, patience is rewarded with the ability to manifest your desires. You see, true patience is the key to unlocking the full potential of your dreams. When you wait with purpose, understanding, and trust, you position yourself to receive not just what you ask for, but what you truly deserve. Your patience doesn't just bring you what you wanted, it brings you something greater than what you could have imagined. Your silent patience makes room for blessings, and when the time is right, you will find that what you receive far surpasses what you thought you could have. You may not see it yet, but your patience is working for you. It is silently preparing the way. In due time, your faith in waiting will be rewarded, and what was once a quiet, unseen act will be recognized by all. Your patience is not a denial of your desires. It is an affirmation of your faith in a higher plan. Hold on, because your reward is coming, and it will be worth every moment of waiting. Patience is often misunderstood as a passive state of waiting for something to happen. However, true patience is far more active. It's not about sitting idly by and hoping things will change on their own. Instead, it is about making a conscious choice to trust the process, to wait with intention, and to align your actions with the understanding that everything happens in its own time. True patience requires a deep inner strength, a decision to endure without rushing, and a belief that while you wait, something is happening beneath the surface. It's about choosing to act in a way that reflects confidence in the outcome, even when immediate results aren't visible. While others may become frustrated or discouraged, you recognize that waiting isn't a sign of weakness. It is a powerful strategy that builds resilience, clarity, and readiness. It is in this active waiting that growth happens, as patience cultivates wisdom and prepares you for what is to come. One of the most profound rewards of patience is the inner peace it brings. In a world filled with noise, distractions, and constant pressure to achieve and perform, finding peace in the midst of all that chaos is a rare and powerful gift. When you exercise patience, you are not simply waiting for things to fall into place. You are allowing yourself to be still, to trust that things will unfold when the time is right. This trust removes the burden of anxiety, worry, and fear. Instead of rushing to make things happen or trying to force situations to turn out in your favor, you learn to let go and accept the natural course of events. This inner peace is an assurance that no matter what is happening externally, you are grounded, centered, and aligned with your purpose. In times of uncertainty, patience cultivates a calm, unwavering confidence that all is well. You stop questioning every delay or setback because you begin to see the value in the wait. There is wisdom in the stillness that allows your thoughts to be clearer and your decisions to be more thoughtful. In that peace, you're no longer controlled by the urgency of the moment. You are able to step back and see the bigger picture, understanding that everything has a season. As you wait quietly, you start to realize that there's no need to rush because the things you're waiting for are already on their way. The peace that comes from patience isn't the absence of problems or challenges, but the presence of a deep sense of assurance and clarity that the journey, however long it may seem, is unfolding as it should. This peace born from patience also serves as a shield against stress and burnout. It acts as a constant reminder that you don't have to do everything at once or force everything to happen right now. It teaches you to breathe, to step back, and to trust that every moment is contributing to your growth. The more patient you become, the more you develop this calm sense of contentment, knowing that each step you take is in the right direction, even if it doesn't appear that way on the surface. You realize that waiting isn't just about enduring the passage of time. It's about trusting the process and finding peace within it. And in that peace, you discover strength that is not reactive or hasty, but rooted and enduring, capable of facing challenges without losing your calm. As you practice patience in silence, people around you begin to notice something different about you. While many may view your quiet waiting as a sign of indecisiveness or weakness in time, they will begin to see it for what it truly is, a reflection of wisdom and inner strength. In a world that often prioritizes quick results, constant action, and instant gratification, your patience stands out as a rare and valuable trait. People might initially question why you're not rushing, why you don't seem affected by the pressure that surrounds you, but slowly they start to recognize that your approach is one that leads to greater results in the long term. Your ability to remain calm, composed, and focused on the bigger picture sends a powerful message. While others may frantically chase after quick fixes or try to manipulate outcomes, you are demonstrating an understanding of life's natural rhythms. This awareness becomes clear to those around you. They begin to see that the fruit of your patience isn't just in the waiting, it's in the choices you make, the steady consistency of your actions, and your unwavering belief that things will unfold in their own time. Your patience doesn't demand attention, yet it commands respect. The more you embody this silent strength, the more others are drawn to it. They start to recognize that your silence isn't passive, it is a sign of thoughtful action. It's a sign that you know something they don't, something powerful and freeing. Your patience encourages others to pause, to reflect, and to reconsider how they approach challenges and decisions. You become a quiet example of what it means to trust in the process and to be secure in the timing of your life. As people see the benefits of your patience unfold, they begin to change their perception of you. They will stop questioning your actions, and instead, they will look to you as a source of guidance, inspiration, and wisdom. What was once seen as a sign of hesitation will now be understood as a deliberate, powerful choice to align with divine timing and natural law. Your patience becomes a beacon to those who are weary of rushing and stressed by immediate results. It teaches them that lasting success, peace, and fulfillment don't come from frantic action, but from the wisdom of knowing when to wait and when to act. Over time, your silent patience will be recognized, and you will be regarded not just as someone who waits, but as someone who waits wisely with purpose and faith. When you remain patient in silence, something remarkable begins to happen. Opportunities that were once hidden or out of reach begin to reveal themselves. The act of patience does not mean that you are idle or inactive. Rather, it means you are allowing space for the right opportunities to come to you. While others might rush to force things into existence, you are patiently aligning yourself with the right moment, the right timing, and the right circumstances. Opportunities are not always obvious or immediate, and often they need time to take shape. But your patience, which allows you to wait without desperation, creates the conditions for these opportunities to appear when the time is right. The key to recognizing these hidden opportunities is in your state of mind. When you practice patience, you are not just waiting, you are becoming more attuned to the subtle signs and possibilities that others might miss. This heightened awareness comes from your ability to stay present in the moment without the pressure to constantly be on the lookout for something. In your silence, you develop a clearer perspective and you start to see what was once invisible. Opportunities are often disguised as challenges or changes, and when you are patient, you give yourself the space to fully understand these situations before reacting. You stop trying to force things and start to see that some of the best opportunities lie in the situations you have been patiently enduring. With patience, you are also positioning yourself for success in ways that are often not immediately visible to others. When you are patient, you allow yourself time to grow, to develop, and to refine your skills. This growth process is often quiet and unseen, but it is laying the groundwork for bigger opportunities down the road. People who rush through life miss the small details and the learning experiences that come with waiting. Meanwhile, you are not just preparing to seize an opportunity. When it comes, you are becoming the kind of person who can recognize it, understand its value, and take full advantage of it. This ability to see hidden opportunities is also tied to your mental and emotional readiness. Silent patience doesn't just prepare you externally, it prepares you internally. You are evolving in ways that make you more equipped to handle whatever comes your way. Because you've practiced waiting, you've learned how to face uncertainty without being overwhelmed. You've trained yourself to stay focused on the end goal without getting distracted by every passing challenge. And when the right opportunity presents itself, you will have the wisdom, strength, and readiness to act on it with clarity and confidence. Most importantly, patience ensures that when opportunities do arrive, they are the right ones, those that are aligned with your true purpose and vision. Because you haven't rushed or settled, you are able to distinguish between opportunities that are distractions and those that are true blessings. Your patience allows you to recognize what is meant for you and what is not. In this way, patience becomes a filter that helps you choose the right path at the right time, setting you up for lasting success instead of temporary gains. The patience you've practiced is not just a way to pass the time, it is actively working to bring you closer to the opportunities that will lead to fulfillment and achievement. Patience teaches you to embrace challenges rather than shy away from them. As you wait silently, you learn the art of perseverance. You discover that true strength doesn't come from avoiding adversity, but from facing it with the understanding that it too has a purpose. Every trial you face while remaining patient adds to your resilience. Instead of reacting impulsively to difficulties, you develop the ability to respond thoughtfully, keeping your emotions in check and your focus on the bigger picture. This transformation equips you with the ability to handle life's inevitable setbacks with grace and poise, rather than being knocked down by them. Patience also cultivates humility. In a world that celebrates instant results and rapid success, choosing to wait requires a deep recognition that there are things you cannot control, that not everything happens on your schedule, and that sometimes you must trust a higher plan. This humility allows you to let go of the need to always be in control and instead trust that there is wisdom in waiting. You begin to understand that some of the best lessons come not from taking action, but from the quiet moments of reflection that accompany patience. This deeper understanding of life's timing allows you to let go of your ego's need for immediate gratification, which in turn frees you to experience more peace, joy, and fulfillment. The more you practice patience, the more you grow in self-awareness. You start to understand your own desires, your weaknesses, your strengths, and the areas where you need to improve. This self-awareness becomes a powerful tool for personal development. Patience encourages you to take the time to reflect on who you are and where you're going, allowing you to make decisions from a place of clarity and purpose. It teaches you to be more mindful of your actions, your thoughts, and your reactions. As you grow more patient, you become less reactive and more intentional, making choices that align with your higher purpose rather than fleeting desires. Additionally, patience strengthens your ability to delay gratification. In a culture that often encourages immediate rewards, patience teaches you the power of long-term thinking. You begin to realize that the best things in life are often worth the wait, and that enduring the waiting period is an essential part of the reward. This ability to delay gratification allows you to make decisions based on what will benefit you in the future, rather than what feels good in the moment. As you consistently practice patience, you develop the wisdom to understand that true success is not measured by short-term victories, but by the lasting results of consistent effort and perseverance. In this process of growth, patience also fosters a deep sense of gratitude. As you wait and endure, you begin to appreciate the journey itself, not just the destination. You learn to find joy in the process of becoming, in the quiet moments of waiting, and in the lessons that emerge along the way. This gratitude transforms your perspective, allowing you to see every part of the journey as a gift, even the struggles. Ultimately, the transformation that comes from patience is not just about becoming stronger or more resilient. It's about becoming a better version of yourself. You are developing a deep inner strength that cannot be shaken by life's storms. You are learning to trust not only the process, but also yourself, your ability to endure, and your capacity to grow through every experience. The more you practice patience, the more you unlock your potential, becoming someone who can rise above challenges with grace, confidence, and unwavering faith in the journey. As you practice silent patience, something extraordinary begins to unfold. The people around you start to see you as a beacon of wisdom and stability. In a society that often glorifies instant action and quick results, your ability to wait, to hold steady without panicking or rushing, sets you apart. While others may struggle with impatience, frustration, or anxiety, you display a calm assurance that is both rare and compelling. Your patience becomes a source of strength, not just for you, but for those who are fortunate enough to witness it. What happens when you remain patient in silence is that your actions speak louder than words. You don't have to proclaim your wisdom or insist on your ideas. The very way you navigate challenges with quiet confidence and without rushing creates a powerful presence that others notice. People begin to gravitate toward you, seeking your counsel, your perspective, and your advice. They recognize that you are not moved by the fleeting pressures that often cloud judgment. They begin to respect you for your ability to remain grounded, to take your time and to see things through to the end, no matter how long it takes. Your patience becomes a model for others. They see how you handle delays and setbacks with grace, how you never seem desperate to chase after the next thing or force situations to turn out as you want. Instead, you allow life to unfold, trusting that everything has its season. This calm, steady demeanor encourages others to adopt a similar approach. Your example teaches them that success is not about rushing to finish first, but about pacing yourself, maintaining consistency, and trusting that the right things will come at the right time. You show them that there is value in waiting, in taking the time to consider all options before making a decision. In a world full of chaos and constant pressure to keep moving, people find a sense of relief in your patience. Your presence becomes a calming influence, reminding them that it's okay to slow down, to pause, to reflect. They learn from you that patience isn't just about waiting, it's about waiting with purpose and wisdom. As they observe your actions and your approach to life, they start to develop a deeper sense of trust in themselves and in the process of life. What's even more powerful is that your silent patience begins to ripple outward. Those who witness it start to mirror it in their own lives, becoming more patient and more deliberate in their actions. As you continue to exercise this patience, it transforms the environment around you. You are no longer just a passive observer of life. You are an active participant in changing the culture of those who are in your sphere of influence. Without saying a word, your behavior is transforming the way people think and act. Your patience becomes contagious. Others begin to see the wisdom in slowing down, in taking the time to listen, to wait, and to trust the timing of things. In this way, your silent patience becomes a tool for positive change. It helps to shift the mindset of those around you from one of hurry and anxiety to one of calm and confidence. They start to recognize that rushing through life only leads to more chaos and dissatisfaction, while taking the time to wait and trust brings greater peace, clarity, and fulfillment. Your patience shows them that they don't have to chase after everything or try to force every opportunity. Sometimes the best way to achieve success is by patiently allowing life to unfold, trusting that in time everything will align perfectly. As the influence of your patience spreads, you start to see the fruit of your waiting. You may receive opportunities and blessings that you never expected, simply because you chose to wait for the right moment. People who have observed your patience might offer you collaborations, partnerships, or support, drawn to your stability and your ability to make calm, wise decisions. You find that the more you trust the process, the more others trust you and the more they are willing to invest in your journey. In this way, your silent patience doesn't just change your own life, it becomes a tool for the transformation of the people around you. It shows them that there is great power in being still, in waiting with purpose, and in trusting that everything will come to you in its own time. Your patience becomes a living example of what it means to stay grounded, calm, and wise in a world that often pushes us to rush, to act hastily, and to chase after fleeting goals. Through your example, you help others embrace the power of stillness, giving them the courage to take their own time, to trust the journey, and to know that their patience too will be rewarded. When you practice silent patience, you begin to notice that your faith is being tested and strengthened in ways that you never imagined. Patience isn't just a passive state of waiting, it's an active process of building trust in a higher power, in the flow of life, and in your own ability to endure. As you wait in silence, trusting that your efforts will eventually bear fruit, your faith becomes the foundation of everything you do. You learn to rely on something beyond your own understanding, beyond your immediate circumstances, knowing that what you need will come at the right time. This faith isn't blind, it's built on the understanding that all things work together for good. You may not see the immediate results of your patience, and it can be tempting to question whether your efforts will ever pay off. However, in these moments, your faith is tested and refined. You start to realize that patience isn't just about waiting for a specific outcome. It's about trusting the process, trusting that there is purpose in every delay, and that what is meant for you will not pass you by. Even in the quiet moments of uncertainty, you come to understand that your waiting is not in vain and that something greater is unfolding in your life. In these moments of silence, you also begin to experience the deep peace that comes with knowing that you are not in control of everything. The more you wait without rushing, without forcing things to happen, the more you learn to let go of the anxiety that often comes with impatience. Your faith allows you to release the need to control every situation, and you begin to trust that life has its own timing. You realize that while you may not be able to see the full picture right now, your faith gives you the confidence that all is well, even when it seems like nothing is happening. It's in these moments of stillness that your faith grows the most, because you learn to surrender your need for immediate results and place your trust in a higher plan. This unwavering faith gives you the strength to continue moving forward, even when the path is unclear, even when it feels like nothing is changing. You begin to see that silent patience is an act of faith in itself. It's a choice to believe in something bigger than yourself, and it's an acknowledgement that sometimes the best thing you can do is wait with the belief that what is coming is far greater than what you can imagine. This kind of faith keeps you steady during storms, it keeps you hopeful when things feel stagnant, and it keeps you rooted in the belief that your time will come. Moreover, as your faith strengthens, you start to see signs that your patience is not only building your character, but also attracting blessings into your life. People and opportunities begin to appear in unexpected ways. You might find that doors open when you least expect it, or that things align in ways that feel almost miraculous. Your faith has become a magnet for the very blessings you've been waiting for. The more you trust in the unseen, the more you begin to see tangible evidence of how your patience has been preparing you for something greater. You also notice how your patience and faith have helped to transform your relationships with others. As your faith grows, you become more compassionate, more understanding, and more able to give others the time and space they need. Your ability to be patient with others reflects the patience you've developed with yourself and with your own life's journey. You begin to recognize that faith and patience go hand in hand in creating meaningful connections with those around you. When you have faith in yourself and in life's timing, you stop rushing others and start allowing them to unfold at their own pace as well. This creates an environment where trust and understanding flourish. As you continue to nurture your faith through silent patience, you realize that it doesn't matter how long you have to wait. What matters is that you trust in the journey. Your faith has become your anchor, and with every passing day, it grows stronger and deeper. You begin to see that it wasn't the waiting that was important, it was the belief that the wait was worthwhile. Every moment of silence, every challenge faced with patience, has strengthened your ability to believe that good things are coming, even when the evidence isn't immediately visible. Through this process, your patience becomes a living testament to the power of faith. You become a walking example that waiting, trusting, and believing is not a passive act, but an active engagement with the universe, with life, and with God. Your ability to patiently endure hardship, your ability to wait without wavering, reflects a deep, abiding faith that no matter what happens, everything is unfolding in the way it is meant to. You understand now that your waiting isn't empty, it's filled with purpose, and with every moment, your faith grows stronger, preparing you for the extraordinary things that are about to unfold. As you continue to embrace silent patience, you begin to realize that the people around you, especially those closest to you, begin to notice a transformation in you. There is something incredibly powerful about patience. It changes not only your inner world, but also the way others perceive you. When you remain patient in silence, you stop reacting to the chaos around you, and instead you become a steady presence in the lives of those who are fortunate enough to know you. The more you demonstrate patience in the face of challenges, the more people start to view you as someone with a rare form of wisdom and grace. People begin to look to you for guidance, not because you actively seek the spotlight, but because they see something in your behavior, your attitude, and your reactions that speaks volumes. You don't have to announce to the world that you are patient or that you have faith or that you are working through your challenges quietly. Your actions do the talking. When people see you handling stress with calmness, waiting for the right time to act without succumbing to pressure or impulse, they start to recognize the power in your patience. It doesn't matter if they are family, friends, or coworkers, your patience becomes a quiet force that commands respect. In those moments when others may be running around in a frenzy, you remain steady, choosing not to react hastily. Your ability to wait without feeling anxious or defeated is something that others rarely see in a world that often demands instant gratification. Your silent patience reveals an inner strength that others may find awe-inspiring. As a result, they begin to trust you more, and they start coming to you for advice or support when they find themselves in difficult situations. They know that you will offer them sound guidance, not based on knee-jerk reactions or emotional outbursts, but on a steady, thoughtful approach grounded in patience and wisdom. What is equally remarkable is that your patience often becomes a source of inspiration for others. People are drawn to the energy of someone who is unshaken by external circumstances, who does not allow the impatience of others to affect them. They may begin to reflect on their own lives and realize how much they could benefit from incorporating more patience into their own approach to life. They see how you are achieving success not by rushing or forcing things, but by allowing things to unfold in their own time. Slowly, they start to emulate your behavior, adopting the same patience in their own lives. They begin to recognize that there is strength in stillness, and that rushing through life only leads to more chaos and missed opportunities. This silent influence that you have over others also extends to the way they interact with you. As you patiently wait for things to happen in their proper time, people begin to treat you with more respect and reverence. They see your patience as a sign of your maturity and inner peace, and they begin to approach you with a deeper level of trust. Whether in personal relationships or professional settings, your patience becomes an unspoken message that you are someone who can be relied upon, someone who does not make impulsive decisions or jump to conclusions. In this way, your patience earns you the kind of respect and admiration that doesn't need to be explicitly sought out. At the same time, the way you treat others reflects this silent patience. You stop trying to rush people, push them into making decisions, or force them into your timeline. Instead, you allow them the space and time they need to grow and change at their own pace. You are more understanding and compassionate toward the struggles of others, knowing that everyone is on their own journey and that growth takes time. People begin to feel comfortable around you because they know you won't pressure them or try to change them. You create an environment of peace where everyone feels heard, valued, and respected. Your patience not only has a profound effect on those around you, but it also deepens your own self-awareness. As you wait in silence, you become more in tune with your own thoughts and emotions. You stop reacting impulsively to life's ups and downs and begin to approach every situation with more clarity and purpose. You start to realize that everything in life, including the relationships you build, is a process. It doesn't happen overnight, and there is no need to rush or force things. You understand that people like you need time to evolve, to heal, and to grow. And by allowing them that space, you not only strengthen your relationships, but also foster an environment where everyone can thrive. Over time, your silent patience becomes a living testament to the power of trusting the process. It doesn't matter how long it takes for things to fall into place. You know that in time, everything will work out. Your patience helps others see that the right opportunities will come at the right time and the right people will be there when they are needed. Your life becomes an example of how waiting with purpose and trust can lead to results far greater than what any rushed action or impulsive decision could ever produce. You become the kind of person that others admire and look up to, not because you are perfect, but because you understand the importance of patience in both your personal life and in your relationships with others. Through your silent patience, you help those around you become more patient, more thoughtful, and more intentional in their own actions. Your example becomes the light by which they can find their own way, and over time, you realize that your patience was never just about waiting for something to happen. It was about becoming the person who could inspire others to wait with the same faith and trust in the process. In the midst of silently waiting, you begin to experience a profound internal growth that cannot be achieved through any other means. Silent patience teaches you how to cultivate resilience. It's one thing to endure hardship or discomfort when you can see the end in sight or when you have an immediate solution at hand. But when you practice patience without knowing exactly when or how things will change, you are learning to build a resilience that is rooted in faith and trust rather than in certainty. As you wait in silence, something extraordinary happens. You become less fragile, less susceptible to being easily shaken by external circumstances. Your resilience grows because you learn to endure challenges without letting them define your state of being. When you are patient, you begin to understand that challenges are not obstacles meant to break you, but opportunities meant to refine you. The process of waiting without seeing immediate results teaches you the importance of staying grounded. You come to realize that you don't need to rush, that you can face setbacks and difficulties with a quiet confidence, knowing that these moments are part of a larger process of growth and transformation. You also begin to gain a deeper sense of inner peace. As you wait in silence, you let go of the need for constant validation or immediate outcomes. You stop feeling the urgency to prove yourself, to chase after fleeting moments of success or recognition. Instead, you learn to be at peace with where you are in life. Patience teaches you that the quality of your life is not determined by external circumstances or immediate achievements, but by your ability to maintain your composure, your peace, and your faith in the midst of uncertainty. This inner peace becomes a powerful source of strength, and it radiates outwards, creating an aura of calmness and serenity around you. Your patience also helps you become more self-aware. In the moments of waiting, you are forced to confront your own fears, doubts, and insecurities. Rather than running from these uncomfortable emotions, you begin to sit with them, and understand their origins. This process of self-reflection allows you to see yourself clearly and to recognize where you need to grow. You learn to develop a more compassionate and understanding attitude toward yourself, realizing that waiting and enduring challenges are not signs of weakness, but of personal strength and maturity. The more you sit with your own emotions in silence, the more you become acquainted with your true self, the self that isn't defined by achievements or failures, but by a deep sense of inner worth and purpose. As you continue to exercise patience, you develop the ability to focus on the present moment. Instead of being consumed by worries about the future or regrets about the past, you begin to live in the now. You start to appreciate the small, everyday moments, the stillness, the quiet, the things that may have previously seemed insignificant. Silent patience teaches you to be fully present with your life, to savor each moment, and to recognize that everything in your life has value, even the moments of waiting and stillness. This practice of living in the present brings a sense of fulfillment and gratitude that cannot be found in constantly rushing or striving for more. In this space of silence, you also develop an incredible sense of faith, not just in the outcomes of your efforts, but in the process itself. You begin to trust that every step, even the ones that seem slow or insignificant, is leading you towards something greater. Patience in silence teaches you that the journey itself is just as important as the destination. You learn to enjoy the process, to find meaning in each moment of waiting, and to trust that everything is unfolding according to a greater plan, even when you cannot see it. Your faith becomes the anchor that keeps you grounded, the belief that what is meant for you will come to you in the right time. Furthermore, this process of waiting and practicing silent patience leads you to a greater understanding of the interconnectedness of all things. As you wait, you begin to see how every experience, every relationship, every challenge, and every moment is connected to a larger picture. You start to understand that nothing happens in isolation and that every part of your journey is contributing to the whole. You realize that what might feel like a delay or a setback is often an essential piece of the puzzle, a necessary step that leads you toward your ultimate purpose. Your patience teaches you that you don't have to force things to happen. They will happen when the time is right. You also begin to experience a deeper sense of empathy for others. As you sit in silence and practice patience, you start to understand how others are also waiting for their own breakthroughs. You can relate to their struggles and frustrations because you are experiencing your own waiting. This empathy allows you to be more compassionate, to offer support and encouragement to others who are also in the midst of their own silent struggles. You realize that everyone has their own journey and that no one's patience is any less important than your own. Your growth and resilience allow you to stand beside others in their waiting, offering them the same quiet encouragement that you have learned to give yourself. As your patience grows, you begin to realize that true strength lies not in your ability to control everything around you, but in your ability to remain steadfast in the face of uncertainty. Your resilience becomes your greatest asset because it allows you to keep moving forward, even when you cannot see the path ahead. You learn that resilience is not about avoiding challenges or rushing through them. It's about staying strong, calm, and focused as you wait for the right moment to act. You learn that patience is not passive. It is an active force that propels you toward your purpose, one steady step at a time. Through this process, you discover that the true reward of your silent patience is not just the external results that will eventually come, but the incredible transformation that takes place within you. You realize that every moment spent waiting, every challenge endured with grace, and every bit of growth you experience in the silence is shaping you into the person you are meant to be. You learn that patience is not just a virtue, it is a way of life that prepares you for greatness. And as you continue to practice this silent patience, you understand that it is the key to unlocking a deeper, more resilient version of yourself that can weather any storm and embrace whatever comes next with strength and grace. The culmination of your silent patience manifests in an extraordinary sense of clarity and understanding that emerges from within you over time. When you endure silently, not rushing to understand or forcing things to unfold according to your own timeline, you create the space for wisdom to enter your life. It is through this silence that your mind begins to shift from the noise and distractions of daily life to a place of quiet reflection. As you cultivate patience, you allow yourself to hear what might otherwise be drowned out by the busyness of the world. It's in the stillness that the answers you've been seeking often come to you, not as sudden flashes of insight, but as a gradual unfolding of understanding that takes place when you are quiet enough to receive it. This clarity goes beyond intellectual understanding. It reaches into the core of your being, affecting how you see the world and how you view yourself. You begin to see the bigger picture, to understand that life's challenges, disappointments, and delays are not obstacles, but part of the journey toward personal evolution. With patience, you are able to step back and detach yourself from the urgency of circumstances and look at them from a broader perspective. The struggles and setbacks that once seemed unbearable now become clear as lessons meant to help you grow. You realize that everything in life, every success, every failure, every moment of waiting is interconnected and serves to bring you closer to the person you are destined to become. The power of this clarity lies in how it reshapes your decisions and your approach to life. With a newfound understanding, you stop making impulsive choices. You no longer feel the need to rush or force outcomes, knowing that the right opportunities will come when the time is right. Your patience reveals a deeper sense of trust in the process, and with this trust, you begin to make more thoughtful, deliberate choices. The clarity you've gained allows you to see through the noise and distractions of life and focus on what truly matters. You begin to prioritize your energy on things that align with your deeper purpose, and you are no longer swayed by the fleeting temptations or immediate gratifications that once may have derailed you. This clarity also allows you to see the relationships in your life in a new light. You stop rushing through interactions or seeking validation from others, realizing that every relationship has its own natural pace of development. You begin to understand that relationships, like all things, take time to grow and evolve, and this understanding brings you peace. You stop putting pressure on yourself or others to meet certain expectations or to fulfill needs that are based on a false sense of urgency. Instead, you cultivate an attitude of patience toward those you care about, understanding that their journey is just as important as yours and that everyone has their own timing for growth. As you gain more clarity, you also develop an enhanced sense of self-awareness. You begin to see not only the lessons that life is teaching you, but also the ways in which you are evolving. Through silent patience, you have cultivated the strength to sit with your own emotions, thoughts, and desires without the need to act immediately. You become more aware of your inner world and what motivates you, and in doing so, you begin to let go of the things that no longer serve your higher purpose. You stop allowing distractions, fears, and past wounds to dictate your actions, and instead you act from a place of understanding and alignment with your true self. This clarity also leads to a deeper level of gratitude. As you sit in silence and wait with patience, you start to appreciate the subtleties of life, the small, often overlooked moments that contribute to your growth. You begin to recognize the beauty in the waiting itself, understanding that this time of silence and stillness is where the deepest transformation occurs. You appreciate the lessons in every delay, the insights gained from every moment of reflection, and the quiet strength built in every challenging season. Gratitude becomes an integral part of your journey because you realize that each moment, whether seemingly insignificant or profoundly transformative, is essential in shaping the person you are becoming. With patience, you also begin to trust your intuition in ways that you may not have before. The silence you cultivate allows you to hear that inner voice, that quiet knowing that guides you toward your purpose. You stop relying solely on external advice or validation and begin to trust your own judgment more deeply. You learn to recognize the difference between fear-driven impulses and intuitive nudges that come from a place of wisdom. Over time, you find yourself making decisions with greater confidence because you are guided by an internal clarity that comes from having the space to listen to your own heart. One of the most profound effects of this clarity is the peace it brings to your mind. The constant chatter, the worry, the anxiety that often comes from impatience and the need for immediate results begins to quiet down. You no longer feel the need to constantly chase after the next goal or solution. Instead, you begin to understand that peace comes not from achieving more, but from accepting things as they are and trusting that everything is unfolding in its own perfect time. Your mind becomes more still, more focused, and more centered on the present moment, which in turn enhances your overall well-being and mental health. This clarity also has the power to reshape how you approach your dreams and aspirations. No longer will you rush towards success or measure your worth by how quickly you achieve your goals. You come to realize that the process of growth, of waiting, working, learning, and evolving is just as valuable as the destination itself. With patience, you understand that success is not something that happens overnight. It is the result of small, consistent actions taken over time. You begin to focus less on the end goal and more on enjoying the journey, knowing that each step you take brings you closer to the life you are meant to live. As you continue to cultivate this silent patience, you discover that it is the key to unlocking a deeper sense of fulfillment and peace. The clarity you gain in this space allows you to move through life with more intention, more grace, and more trust. You stop feeling like you are in a race against time, and instead, you allow yourself to be fully present in the moment, appreciating the beauty and lessons that each day brings. This clarity guides you to make wiser decisions, to build stronger relationships, to stay aligned with your purpose, and to trust that everything in your life is unfolding exactly as it should. Through patience, you open the door to the deepest wisdom, the most profound peace, and the richest experiences that life has to offer. In the end, silent patience is not a passive state of waiting, but an active choice to trust the process of life and embrace the lessons that come with it. It is through this patience that we cultivate clarity, wisdom, and a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. As we wait in silence, we are not stagnant, we are growing, evolving, and aligning ourselves with a purpose that is greater than our immediate desires. The rewards of silent patience are not always seen in the form of instant gratification, but in the profound peace, clarity, and wisdom that emerge as we trust the timing of our lives. Patience will never be in vain because in its quiet, unassuming presence, it shapes our destiny in ways we may not even fully understand at the moment. So let us embrace this silence with confidence, knowing that it is in our patient waiting that we are being prepared for the greatness that awaits us. They tried to destroy you, but they didn't succeed. Let me tell you something about the power inside of you. The enemy, the challenges, the struggles, everything that came against you came because it saw something in you that it feared. You see, nothing can come against you unless it recognizes your potential. You are a force to be reckoned with. They tried to destroy you, but they only revealed the strength you never knew you had. You were built for this. When they tried to break you, they didn't realize that your foundation is stronger than their attacks. You are a masterpiece in progress, not yet finished, but on your way to greatness. Every attempt to destroy you is simply a test of your endurance, a proving ground for your faith, and a confirmation of the purpose that has been placed in your life. You may have been knocked down, but you are not defeated. You are not the sum of your failures, nor the consequences of your mistakes. You are the reflection of the dreams inside of you, the vision that was planted in your heart before you even knew what it meant to dream. There is power in what you survived. There is purpose in every pain you've endured, and each setback is a setup for a comeback. Do not let what they did to you define you. Do not let their words, their actions, or their betrayal set the limits on who you are and what you can accomplish. The world can't see what's inside of you, but the Creator knows. He knows that what is in you cannot be touched by any external force. What they meant for evil, God is going to use for your good. The harder they tried to tear you down, the more they pushed you towards your destiny. You are more than a conqueror. You are a survivor, a victor, and you will rise higher than you ever imagined. What they didn't understand is that you are not just fighting for yourself. You are fighting for the legacy you will leave, for the lives you will change, and for the purpose that will inspire generations. So when they tried to destroy you, all they did was strengthen you. And as you rise from the ashes, remember that you are built not to just survive, but to thrive. You are living proof that nothing can stand in the way of God's plan for your life. The best is yet to come. The challenges and struggles you face come because your potential is recognized by the enemy. You see, the enemy doesn't attack what is weak. It targets what is strong. It sees the potential within you that you may not even recognize yet. When things get tough, it's not a sign of your weakness, but rather a signal that something powerful is at work within you. You are a force to be reckoned with, a living embodiment of what's to come. The attacks, the obstacles, the criticisms, they are all reflections of your untapped greatness. If there was nothing special about you, they wouldn't waste their time trying to bring you down. But because you carry something precious inside of you, something that has the power to change lives, to break barriers, to transform destinies, that is exactly why you're facing the opposition. The enemy knows that you have what it takes to rise above, to achieve, to succeed, and to lead others. And because of that, it will try to distract you, discourage you, and break your spirit. But you must understand this truth. Every challenge that comes against you is not to destroy you, but to reveal the power that already lies within you. It is there to remind you of who you are and what you are capable of. The harder the opposition, the greater the victory. If you're being attacked, it's simply confirmation that your potential is greater than you ever imagined. And it's something that the enemy is afraid of. So the next time you face a challenge, remember, it's not the weakness of your character that they're attacking. It's the strength and greatness within you that they are terrified of. This is your moment to rise, to show the world and yourself that nothing can stand in the way of your destiny. You were made for this. When they tried to destroy you, they didn't realize something powerful. They were only revealing the strength within you that you never knew existed. You might have felt like you were at your lowest point, knocked down and broken, but those moments are often the times when you discover just how strong you really are. You see, strength is not something that shows up when everything is smooth and easy. Strength is forged in the fire, built through the battles, and revealed in moments of intense pressure. The very struggles you face are the proving grounds of your power. The challenges you've endured have been like the weights in a gym, forcing you to grow stronger with each resistance. When they tried to break you, all they did was push you to tap into resources within yourself that you didn't know were there. You might have questioned your own abilities when things were tough, but now you can look back and see how those moments didn't destroy you, they made you. They sharpened you. They prepared you for the next level of your life. It's in these moments of pressure that the gold in you is purified, the impurities removed, and the true you is revealed. You may have been bruised, but you were never broken. They thought they could tear you down, but in reality, they were only helping you rise higher. Every time you faced adversity, you came out stronger. Every betrayal, every hurt, every disappointment, they didn't diminish you. They fueled your growth. You learn more about who you are and what you are truly capable of. You learn that you can stand up after being knocked down. You learn that you have a resilience that no weapon formed against you can destroy. And now, because of what you've gone through, you're more prepared for the future. You're no longer the person you were before the trials. You are the person you are now because of them. You are stronger than you ever thought possible. Your foundation is unshakable. When they tried to destroy you, they underestimated the depth of what you are built on. You were not just created to survive the storms of life, you were designed to stand strong in the face of them. The enemy's attacks may have shaken you, but they could never take away the strength you've gained from your foundation. You are grounded in something far greater than external circumstances. Your foundation is rooted in purpose, in faith, and in the understanding that nothing in this world can define you except what was placed inside of you. They tried to destroy you, but they didn't realize that your core, your very essence, is anchored in a force that cannot be moved. When the storms of life come, it's easy to focus on the destruction they bring. But a strong foundation isn't about being untouched by the storm. It's about remaining firm and unmovable despite it. The true test of a foundation is not how it looks when everything is calm, but how it stands when everything is shaking around it. And you, my friend, have proven that your foundation is solid. They thought they could weaken you, but the truth is that every attack just deepened your roots. Every challenge just solidified your foundation, making you unshakable. What they didn't understand is that they were dealing with someone who was built on the right principles, someone who knows who they are and whose they are. Your faith is your rock, your purpose is your anchor, and your vision is your compass. With this foundation, no matter what comes against you, you can stand tall. The enemy's efforts to break you are futile because you are rooted in something eternal, something powerful. You were built to endure. You were designed not just to face difficulties, but to overcome them. No matter how many times they try to tear you down, your foundation will hold strong. It's unshakable, it's unmovable, and it will carry you through every storm life throws your way. You are a masterpiece still being developed, not a finished product. When they tried to destroy you, they didn't realize that what they were seeing wasn't the final version of you. What you're going through right now is just a chapter in a much greater story. You are not yet who you are meant to be. You are in the process of becoming, and that process is powerful. Every obstacle you face is a tool in the hands of the Creator, shaping and molding you into the person you are destined to become. The challenges are not meant to break you. They are the chisels that refine you, the flames that purify you, and the hands that shape you into greatness. Think of a sculptor working on a masterpiece. At first glance, the stone might seem rough, full of imperfections and cracks. But the sculptor knows what lies beneath the surface. With every strike of the hammer, with every careful touch, the sculptor is revealing the beauty that was always there. You, too, are being sculpted, refined, and formed into something magnificent. What they tried to destroy was only the outer layer, but underneath, the masterpiece was always there. The vision of who you truly are is already in motion. You are being shaped into someone who can carry the weight of the greatness that is destined for you. Each trial you face is not just a test of your ability to endure, but a part of the journey that will eventually reveal the fullness of your potential. You may not see it now, but every hardship is preparing you for something bigger, something beyond your current understanding. You are not the sum of your past mistakes or your current struggles. You are the sum of your future victories, your dreams, your potential, and you are on the way to becoming everything you were created to be. The people who tried to tear you down didn't see the vision of who you would become. They couldn't see the strength and wisdom that would emerge from every setback. You are evolving, and each challenge is just another step toward the greatness that awaits you. You are not yet finished, but you are well on your way to becoming the person you were always meant to be. The best version of you is still under construction, and it will be worth every moment of the journey. Every attack that comes against you is an opportunity to test your endurance, a chance to grow stronger in your faith and purpose. When they tried to destroy you, they didn't realize that the pain they caused was only stretching your capacity for greatness. Life isn't about avoiding difficulties, it's about learning how to rise higher with each one. With every challenge you face, you are being tested, not to break you, but to show you what you're made of. The more resistance you encounter, the more you are forced to expand your inner strength and wisdom. It's like lifting weights. The more you lift, the stronger your muscles grow. Each attack against you is like another weight that you have to lift, and with each one, you become more powerful, more resilient, and more unshakable. It's easy to think that challenges are meant to break you, but in reality, they are meant to build you. They push you to find inner reserves of strength you didn't even know you had. They force you to confront fears, doubts, and weaknesses you might have avoided. But in the process, you discover your true capacity for overcoming. The pain you experience doesn't diminish you, it prepares you. It strengthens your resolve, sharpens your vision, and deepens your faith. Your endurance is not just about surviving each difficulty, but about thriving in the face of them. You must understand that growth is not always a comfortable process. It often requires going through seasons of hardship, pain, and challenge. But with each season you endure, you become better equipped for the next one. And with each victory, no matter how small, you build momentum toward your greater purpose. You are being refined, tested, and developed into someone who is capable of handling greater responsibility, greater success, and greater influence. What the enemy meant to weaken you has actually been strengthening you, stretching your limits, and preparing you for a greater future. Your endurance is what will carry you when the storms come. It's not your immediate circumstances that determine your future, but your ability to press on, to stand firm, and to keep moving forward despite the challenges. You are learning to endure not just for yourself, but for the bigger picture. You are becoming the person who will lead, inspire, and uplift others because you know what it means to persevere, to fight back, and to keep going when everything around you says to quit. The trials are the building blocks of your strength. They are forming you into a person of greater purpose, vision, and influence. And in the end, your endurance will be the foundation of your success. You are not defined by your failures or setbacks. You are defined by the dreams and vision planted in your heart before you even understood them. When they tried to destroy you, they were attacking something far deeper than your circumstances. They were attacking your purpose. But here's the truth. Your true identity is not found in your mistakes or the temporary challenges you face. It is rooted in the divine purpose that was instilled in you from the very beginning of your life. The dreams you carry, the vision you have for your life, the calling that stirs in your heart, these things are the foundation of who you are, and nothing, absolutely nothing, can take them away. People may try to define you by what you've gone through, by the pain you've endured, or by the times you've stumbled. They may try to label you by your failures, by the mistakes you've made, but you are not the sum of those things. You are far more than what meets the eye. What you are going through is temporary, your purpose is eternal. And that purpose was placed in you long before you had the ability to comprehend it. Your journey, your struggles, and your victories are all part of the unfolding of a divine plan that is bigger than you can imagine. They thought they could destroy you, but all they did was reveal a part of you that is even stronger than they realized. You have a vision within you that transcends the challenges you face. Your identity is locked in that vision. That vision is what keeps you moving forward, even when things seem dark. It's not about the momentary setbacks, it's about the ultimate purpose you were created for. In moments when you feel lost or defeated, remember that your identity is not tied to the enemy's attempts to break you. It is tied to the greatness you are meant to achieve. You are the dream God placed inside of you, and that dream cannot be destroyed. The world may try to shake you, break you, or change you, but your true identity, your true purpose remains unshaken. No matter how hard they try to bring you down, they cannot steal the vision and the calling that have been placed in your heart. That vision will guide you, will pull you through the darkest times, and will lead you to the fulfillment of your destiny. You are who God says you are, not what your failures, your past, or anyone else tries to define you as. Your purpose is greater than their efforts to destroy you. They tried to destroy you, but what they didn't understand is that your growth comes from adversity. They may have thought that by attacking you, they could stop you, but in reality, all they did was accelerate your growth. You see, growth is not something that happens when everything is easy. It's in the challenges, the obstacles, and the hardships where we are truly stretched. Growth is uncomfortable, it's painful, and it requires you to push beyond your limits. Every trial you face is like fertilizer for your growth. The more you are tested, the more you have the opportunity to evolve into the person you were always meant to become. When life gets tough and people try to break you, it's important to remember that you are not stuck in a season of destruction. You are in a season of expansion. Every challenge is an invitation to grow, an invitation to become more than you were before. Your strength doesn't just come from surviving, it comes from what you learn in the process. It comes from how you respond when everything around you is crumbling. This is the moment that defines you. This is the moment when you either rise or remain stagnant. But make no mistake, if you choose to rise, you will rise higher than you ever thought possible. The process of growth can often look like destruction. Sometimes things must be torn down in order for something better to be built. You may have felt like everything was falling apart, but in reality, what was happening is that you were being broken open to reveal the power inside of you. They tried to destroy you, but all they did was create space for you to grow into something greater. Like a tree that grows deeper roots during a storm, your character and your abilities are growing stronger with every challenge. Each trial is not a setback, but a step forward in your development. The truth is, without pressure, without difficulties, we would never learn the depth of our own potential. The reason you are capable of so much more than you think is because of the struggles you faced. Each one has added to your strength, your wisdom, and your ability to stand firm in the face of future challenges. You've been in the fire, and that fire has refined you. What they thought was destruction was, in fact, the greatest tool for your growth. You are not the same person you were before you faced those trials, and that's the very reason they can't break you. You are too strong now. You've grown. You've expanded. And because of that, there is no stopping you. What they failed to realize is that their efforts to destroy you only set the stage for your elevation. Every setback, every attempt to bring you down, every whisper against you has only contributed to your rise. You see, there is a divine law at work in your life that says what the enemy meant for evil, God will use for good. Each attempt to destroy you was a push, a nudge toward your higher calling, a force that propelled you forward, even when you thought you were being pulled backward. They thought they could diminish you, but in reality, they were unknowingly positioning you for elevation. When they came against you, they unknowingly made you more determined, more focused, and more driven. Their actions intended to hurt you ignited a fire within you to prove not just to them, but to yourself, that you are greater than the sum of your challenges. You didn't let their negativity consume you. Instead, you turned it into fuel for your success. Every insult, every attack, every effort to tear you down only strengthened your resolve and your vision. What they intended to be your downfall has become the very thing that will lift you higher than they could ever imagine. Your elevation is not a result of avoiding difficulties. It is a result of your ability to rise above them. It's about how you use every challenge, every moment of adversity as stepping stones towards something greater. You didn't stay down when they tried to bring you low. You used their attacks to springboard you into your next level. And now, because of everything they've thrown at you, you are rising higher, stronger, and more capable than ever before. Your elevation is not just about achieving success. It's about what you become in the process. It's about how your character, your wisdom, your strength, and your resilience are formed through the pressure. They wanted to break you, but in the process, they sharpened you. They thought they could dim your light, but they only made it shine brighter. You are now a living testimony that even in the midst of trials, you can rise. Their attempt to destroy you only increased your capacity to stand tall, to walk with purpose, and to carry the weight of the greatness ahead of you. Your elevation is not just personal, it's a reflection of the power of God working in and through you. What they meant for destruction, God has used to prepare you for something far greater than you can imagine. You are rising not just for your own sake, but for the sake of the purpose you carry, the dreams you are destined to fulfill, and the impact you are meant to make. They tried to destroy you, but what they didn't realize is that every attack on your life is an opportunity for you to fulfill your true purpose. They may have thought they were halting your progress, but in reality, they were helping you walk into your destiny. The trials you face, the struggles you encounter are not accidents. They are part of the divine plan that is unfolding for you. You see, your purpose is not something that can be thwarted by external forces. What God has destined for you will come to pass, regardless of the obstacles that may try to stand in your way. The opposition you face is not a sign that you are on the wrong path. It is a sign that you are on the right one. Purpose is not something that can be easily derailed. It's not something that can be shaken by criticism, by doubt, or by the efforts of others to stop you. When you are living in alignment with your divine purpose, every setback becomes a setup for a greater breakthrough. Every challenge is an opportunity for you to refine your character, sharpen your focus, and expand your vision. They tried to destroy you, but in doing so, they were unknowingly pushing you closer to your purpose, revealing strength, resilience, and faith that you never knew existed within you. Your purpose is greater than your circumstances. It's not dependent on your external environment. It's something that is birthed from within. No one can take away your purpose, no matter how hard they try. They may try to distract you, to discourage you, to tear you down, but they cannot strip you of your God-given purpose. That purpose is what keeps you moving forward when everything around you is falling apart. It's what gives you the courage to keep going when you feel like giving up. It's what drives you to rise again when they think you are defeated. Every time they try to destroy you, you are being refined, purified, and prepared for the fulfillment of your purpose. It's in these moments that you discover the depths of your inner strength, the true power that lies within you. The harder the battle, the more the enemy tries to take you down, the closer you come to walking fully in your purpose. You are being shaped, molded, and refined for the great things that are ahead of you. What they meant for harm, God is using to elevate you, to position you for greatness, and to move you closer to the fulfillment of the vision that He has placed in your heart. No weapon formed against you can prosper because your purpose is unstoppable. You are moving forward, not in spite of your challenges, but because of them. They may have tried to destroy you, but instead, they have only helped you rise to become the person you were always meant to be. Your purpose is unshakable, and with each challenge you face, you are one step closer to fully walking in it. They tried to destroy you, but they underestimated the power that resides within you. The very fact that you're still standing is proof that they did not have the ability to break you, because what's inside of you is more powerful than anything they can throw at you. They may have attacked your character, they may have tried to damage your reputation, or they may have worked to make you doubt your worth. But what they fail to realize is that your value is not defined by external opinions or circumstances. It's defined by your Creator and the greatness He has placed inside of you. You were made to withstand every storm, to rise above every challenge, and to walk in victory despite what the world may try to throw your way. They tried to destroy you, but in reality, they were only revealing your resilience. Every obstacle, every battle, and every attack was merely an opportunity for you to demonstrate your ability to rise above it. The more they came against you, the stronger you became. The more they tried to defeat you, the more you discovered your inner strength, your ability to press on, and your capacity to overcome. They thought they could wear you down, but instead they gave you the chance to build muscle, to become stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever before. With every attack, you were being refined like gold in the fire, and now you stand as a living testimony of the power of persistence. You have something inside of you that they cannot touch, something that cannot be destroyed. You have a purpose, a calling, a divine destiny that is bigger than any plot or scheme that anyone could ever devise. The truth is, their attempts to destroy you were futile because your purpose is unstoppable. The obstacles they tried to place in your path were just stepping stones, and now you are standing higher, more focused, and more determined than ever. Every challenge you faced has only strengthened your resolve to pursue your dreams, to fulfill your purpose, and to walk in the fullness of who you were created to be. What they didn't realize is that in trying to break you, they were setting the stage for your breakthrough. Every time they attacked you, they were actually positioning you for greater things. Your resilience is a testimony to the strength that God has placed in you. You didn't let them win. You refused to give up. And now, you stand as proof that no matter what comes your way, you can always rise again. What they thought would be your end was actually your beginning. They tried to destroy you, but they only helped you discover the depths of your strength and the height of your potential. Now you are ready to soar higher than ever before. In the end, everything they did to try to destroy you only served to reveal the strength, resilience, and power that was already within you. Their attempts to break you have not only failed, but they have propelled you forward, closer to your purpose and your destiny. You stand stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever before. Remember this, your purpose cannot be stopped by external forces, and your value is unshakable because it is rooted in the divine power that created you. What they meant for harm, God has turned into a stepping stone for your greatness. Keep moving forward, knowing that you are unstoppable, unbreakable, and destined for victory. Your journey is just beginning, and nothing, no matter how hard they tried, can stop you from walking into the fullness of your purpose.